What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City live stream watch along, where today we're going to be doing a live stream of Manchester City's game against Aston Villa at the Etihad Stadium in the Premier League. Huge game this for Manchester City and for Aston Villa. I described it in the build-up to this game as a Champions League qualification six-pointer. Manchester City win today. We take a big stride towards Champions League football for next season. Aston Villa win today. They go over Manchester City, and it's very much a case of Manchester City being the team under pressure. So there is a lot riding on this game. City being the home team. Aston Villa have already beaten us this season in the Premier League, beating us by 2-1 back in December at Villa Park. And Manchester City, when it comes to playing teams around them, need to make sure that we're applying ourselves, taking 3 points from Newcastle with a home win against them a couple of months ago, 6 points off Chelsea. We could do with taking some points off Aston Villa as well. So if we can pick up a win, then great. Draw this game. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great result, but I'm not going to say it's a bad result either, because it keeps us over Aston Villa. And this is the game that was meant to be taking place this weekend, because Manchester City are in FA Cup action on Sunday against Nottingham Forest. This game's been brought forward, so it means we get to go first before everybody else. So we have a chance today to go third in the Premier League and get some pressure onto the likes of Nottingham Forest, onto Newcastle, onto Chelsea, and also big-time pressure onto Aston Villa if we can beat them. Aston Villa beat us. I'm expecting Chelsea to do a job at the weekend against Everton at home. It means we face the prospect of being 7th with 4 games remaining. So that is what we're looking towards, and that is what Manchester City need to try and deal with here against a very fit, energetic, high-pressing, quality Aston Villa team. Plenty of precision and pace in their attack. Got lots of quality, lots of players who can cause us lots of problems in their midfield. Got a decent defence and a good goalkeeper. To me, Aston Villa look like a very well-balanced team right now, who, for City to beat them, we're going to have to play at our very, very best today. I'm looking at Aston Villa, very much an in-form side. Lost only 1 game since February, and that came in the Champions League in that first leg quarter-final match against PSG. Aston Villa led in that game, and it took PSG to score some outstanding goals to be able to pick up a win that day. That is what City need to be really wary of. The tenacity, the dynamic attack of Aston Villa, the triangle passings, their ability to turn defence into attack. They will outrun Manchester City today. Manchester City's midfield looking as old as ever. Aston Villa, I think, are going to be rubbing their hands at it. I'm hoping Pep Guardiola's coming up with some kind of tactical masterclass for Manchester City to try and win this game. I do have some concerns about Nico Gonzalez not starting this game, but we'll speak more about that when I speak about the teams in just a couple of minutes. So before I do fully crack on with this live watch along, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. We're now less than 800 subs away from my aim of 43,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the live chat. I want to say a big thank you to everybody for tuning in, and a warm welcome to everybody as well for tuning in. It is much appreciated. We've got Julia in the chat. Welcome, Julia. Bella, thank you for tuning in. Keo, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. 5K, thank you for tuning in. Nice and positive, going for a 2-1 City win. I like it. Nadir reckons Villa going to win this game, going 3-1 Aston Villa. All Things Football, thank you for tuning in. I agree. The retirement home of midfield is how Manchester City's midfield is at the moment. Fernando, thank you for tuning in as well. Much appreciated. Isaiah, Jay, nice and positive, going for a 2-1 Manchester City win. I like it. Dave, sitting on the fence, going 1-1 for this game. Rai, thank you for tuning in. Said big nerves from me today. I feel it. It's a really big game. I think it's really important we don't lose this game. Difficult. Not going to be easy. I think we can do it. We've got to be at our very, very best, though. Cruno, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated as well. So, do get your score predictions, guys, in the live chat. Also, don't forget as well to let me know where you are tuning in from today. Also got my poll rolling in the chat as well. If you want to leave your votes as to who you think's winning today. 83% of you guys going with a Manchester City win. 14%. Quite high for a draw today, but a draw is my prediction. 1-1 is what I'm going for. So I'm with the 14% and 3% going with an Aston Villa win. So don't forget to get your vote in before the whistle goes to start this game, and I will end the poll upon the start of this match. So do go and leave your votes. That would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And don't forget as well to also check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. SofaScore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores from around the grounds. They're going to keep you guys up to date with the latest information. Well, that's the football information. They're going to keep you up to date with all the latest team news, along with the commentary and all your good footballing needs, all in one place, all in one app. Not just limited to football. It's got you guys covered for all the sports and information that you guys love to follow. As I said, it's all in one place, all in one app. Free app to download. Anyone that does download using my link in the description or the QR code on screen or the link in the live chat does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And I will roll my promo video before we'll speak about the teams for today. So I will see you guys in just 20 seconds. And a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring today's video. So, Eze going for a 2-1 win for Manchester City. All things football, nice and positive, going 2-1 Manchester City as well. We've got True Blue tuning in from Thailand. 2 a.m. kickoff. Let's go with early one, late one, depending on well, if you've been to sleep or not. Thank you for tuning in, though. True dedication. Love that. 2-1 to Manchester City. Cruno tuning in from Croatia. Love that. Thank you for tuning in, Cruno from Croatia. Lovely country, Croatia. Fernando, thank you for tuning in. Says, can't see us winning this one. Reckons 2-0 to Aston Villa. City and Leeds channel, thank you for tuning in. Going 3-3. Very entertaining draw for today's game. Says, what are my thoughts on Leeds and Burnley's promotion? Congratulations to them, of course. Leeds United secured promotion yesterday along with Burnley, thanks to Burnley's 2-1 win over Sheffield United. So it's going to be the playoffs for Sheffield United. Good to see Leeds and Burnley once more coming back to the Premier League, hoping that they can maybe make more of a challenge of it in the Premier League than what they did last time out, because we're just starting to see a bit of a gulfing difference between the Premier League and the Championship. We're starting to see that there's a little gulf of teams that aren't good enough for the Premier League but are too good for the Championship, and the likes of Leeds United, Burnley, Sheffield United. I'm going to chuck the 3 newly promoted teams from last season who have all going to be relegated this season. Southampton, Leicester City, Ipswich Town, teams that are too good for the Championship but just not quite up to the cut when it comes to the Premier League. So I'd like to see them make some quality additions, make them difficult to beat, and see if they can try and get Premier League survival. And I feel like these Championship teams, when they come up, all they need is one season where they can stay up, and you've got that platform to build upon to persevere and push through and go further forward. Because at the moment, it's not so much of a rut. It's great for these teams to be promoted. It's great that they get access to the Premier League money once more. It secures their future, but not so great in that you're seeing the same teams going up and going down season on season. And we're looking here at back-to-back seasons of teams that have been promoted, being relegated, and we're starting to see the same teams returning back to the Premier League. bar Luton Town, who could well be a League One team, and there's the next danger of the Championship, where you let your players go and the motivation isn't there and the feel-good factor goes away. All of a sudden you get off to a poor start, you're left scrambling and struggling, and all of a sudden you can find yourself dipping further into the Football League, the likes of Charlton Athletic, Blackburn Rovers, Bolton Wanderers, Leeds United have been there. These teams that have been solid Premier League teams who have just ended up pushing further down into the English Football League because things get tough, things get difficult. Football, it happens, roller coaster ride. There's ups, there's downs as well. All Things Football reckons Marmoush needs to step up today. Will be crucial. I'd like to have seen a few of our new signings in today. Really showcase our difference between the first half of the season and the second half of the season. This lineup that I've seen, bar Omar Marmoush, is very much a Manchester City team that we were seeing in the first half of the season, and we all saw from December when we played Aston Villa how that went. Morgan Rogers tore Manchester City apart. So yeah, there we are. Cracked, thanks for tuning in. Says De Bruyne outside the box, in goal, incoming. I'd love to see that, of course. Kevin De Bruyne, what's today? Is today his penultimate home game at the Etihad Stadium? No, Wolves we play as well. So it's his third to last home game at the Etihad Stadium ever, which is very sad. Ryan says, would love to hear my thoughts on some of the Wirtz news coming in from the past few days. Florian Wirtz with these online sources claiming that Manchester City may be overtaking Bayern Munich in the race to bring Florian Wirtz in the summer. Firstly, my thoughts, Wirtz is a quality player. Would love him at Manchester City. I think he would really suit the Premier League. A lovely, dynamic, direct kind of player. I think he's as close as you'll get to a Kevin De Bruyne like-for-like replacement for a player of quality that's out there. I don't have any concerns about him adapting and coping with life in Manchester and in the Premier League. I think he'd be a solid addition. For a player of Wirtz's quality and age, I actually don't think it is available for too bad of a price. We're looking at maybe just over £100 million. We know that Leverkusen have got some interest in City players, including James McAtee starting today and Stefan Ortega-Moreno starting today. So there might be a bit of a bargaining tool there for Manchester City. I think all round it'd just be a quality signing. He's a player that I'd love for City to go out there and sign. And if it was up to me, I'd be going 110% at Florian Wirtz to try and make it happen. I'm just not completely sold on Wirtz because I'm not entirely convinced that he wants to leave Bayer Leverkusen this summer, and I think he wants to wait until next year he signs his new contract and he'll have that release clause where he doesn't have to think about things until next summer after the World Cup, and he can start to think, does he want to stay at Bayer Leverkusen? Does he want to go to Bayern Munich? Does he want to go to Manchester City? Does he want to go to Real Madrid? Does he want to go somewhere else? Just giving himself a bit of time, and I think that logically would make the most sense. But last 24 hours are saying that Pep apparently turning the head of Florian Wirtz in his camp, so we'll see. He's a player I definitely love at Manchester City. Do I think it will happen? I'm not entirely sure about that. We've also seen some big news coming out about Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper at FC Porto. Apparently Man City have lined him up as Ederson's replacement should he leave this summer, with Diogo Costa apparently giving the green light to the move. Doesn't surprise me that we're getting a few links with players coming in from Portugal, with the incoming sporting director Hugo Viana taking joint charge of Manchester City's transfers in the summer, along with Chicky before Chicky walks away in September from the club. So that's transfer stuff. We'll speak more about transfers tomorrow because I will have a transfer update for you guys to enjoy. AGF, thank you for tuning in, much appreciated. Nadir, thank you for tuning in. Manchester is blue, going for a 1-0 City win. Man City, thank you for tuning in. And City and Leeds channel says he thinks Leeds will stay up because most of the Leeds players have got that Premier League experience, and if they can win the Championship then they get more money and they can make some key signings to survive. We'll see. That gulfing difference is big. Really big. You've seen it in the points tally. We're not talking teams just going down. We're talking teams going down with 3, 4, 5 games to spare. That gulfing difference is huge. And to be honest, if the teams down at the bottom had managed to scramble and scrape a little bit more, the likes of Wolves, West Ham, Spurs and Manchester United, all not hit 40 points, would definitely be struggling this season. So here we are. But as Julia mentioned before in the chat, it's remarkable that we're looking at Spurs and United having awful seasons, one of the worst seasons they've ever known, yet potentially have Champions League football for next season. Make that make sense. Manchester United were minutes away against Lyon. Should have gone out. They shouldn't have Champions League football for next season. They've been awful this season in the Premier League. They don't deserve Champions League football. Spurs don't deserve Champions League football. But if the competition winners offers that, then they're going to take that very seriously. So we'll see what happens. For Manchester City, it's all about focusing on the Premier League and getting into the Champions League through our league finish. So that's what we're going to try and make happen. So let's go through the teams. Let's have a look at the teams. What I find really interesting is the average age of the teams, because Manchester City is at 27.5 years, a very experienced team, lining up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Aston Villa lining up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Their average age of their team's not much lower than Manchester City's, a very experienced 26.5 years old. So we'll start off first by speaking about our opponents, Aston Villa, having a great season. Champions League quarter-finalists, knocked out against PSG in the quarterfinals just a week or so ago. PSG had that game wrapped up. Aston Villa came back from the dead and maybe should have knocked PSG out, exposed some PSG weakness that I'm sure Arsenal will be rubbing their hands for in the Champions League semi-final. But the team's not too different to the team that nearly knocked out PSG. Emi Martinez, captain for Aston Villa, starts in goal. Back four made up of Matty Cash, Konsa, Torres and Digne. A midfield three made up of Kamara, Onana and Tielemans. Morgan Rogers on one side, Ramsey on the other. Marcus Rashford starts as the striker for Aston Villa today. So some big calls, including, surprises me, John McGinn on the bench, not starting. That surprises me. Ian Maatsen looked good. He doesn't get given the nod ahead of Digne though, but Digne is regarded as the first choice left back. You've also got Asensio on the bench, Ross Barkley on the bench, Malan on the bench, Ollie Watkins on the bench. A lot of depth there for Aston Villa. So their bench made up of Robin Olsen, Ian Maatsen, Andreas Garcia, Axel Disasi, John McGinn, Ross Barkley, Daniel Malan, Marco Asensio and Ollie Watkins. Quality team, quality players with a fantastic manager, having a really good season. To me, that team should be doing a little bit better than 7th place, but Aston Villa win today and all of a sudden they're looking really tidy and looking good for Champions League football for next season. So we've got to do something about it. So Manchester City lining up today with our 4-2-3-1 formation. There's no changes at the back for City. Ortega-Moreno starts in goal, Matheus Nunes on the right-hand side, and brilliant to see Nico O'Reilly, who's been a revelation over the last few weeks, starting on the left-hand side once more for Manchester City, with Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol starting as the two centre-backs. Midfield three of City today made up of Mateo Kovacic, Ilkay Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne, captaining Manchester City today. Surprises me a lot that Manchester City are not starting with Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez, for me, should have been starting. He's been really important for Manchester City when it comes to our midfield control since we've brought him in. We've spent, over £60 million to bring him in. A big game like today with near enough everything on the line. It's a 6-pointer here for Champions League qualification. I can't get my head around why Nico Gonzalez isn't starting this game, but here we are. Bernardo Silva starts on the right wing. James McAtee looks like he's going to be given the nod on the left wing. And Omar Marmoush starting up top for Manchester City today. What I wouldn't rule out here is James McAtee starts on the right-hand side. Omar Marmoush starts on the left-hand side. And Kevin De Bruyne is going to lead that false 9 position for Manchester City, with Kevin De Bruyne playing in front of Bernardo Silva is what I think we might see from City. On the bench, despite the rumours coming in that Claudio Echeverri was in the squad, he is not in the squad for today's game. On the bench for City today, Scott Carson in place of the injured Ederson, Manuel Akanji, Claudio Khusanov, Rico Lewis, Jack Grealish, Nico Gonzalez, Savinho, Phil Foden and Jeremy Doku. Lots of players that can make a difference from the bench there for Manchester City. Nice to see Akanji once more making the squad and providing a bit of depth for Manchester City's defence, along with Claudio Khusanov, with the pace of Manchester City, of course, in defence, and Rico Lewis. So we've got them options on the bench, and it's nice to see the defence looking a little more deeper in its depth than what we've seen over the last few weeks. Midfield, not looking too bad. Phil Foden, the option. Nico Gonzalez, of course, the other option. I suspect we'll see both these players coming off the bench. Could see former Villa man Jack Grealish potentially coming into this game at some point as well, along with the pace of the wingers of Savinho and Jeremy Doku. Very surprised not to see one and or either of these players starting for Manchester City, just to try and give the likes of Digne on the Villa left-hand side and Matty Cash on the Villa right-hand side something to really think about to try and pin them, because at the moment my concern is that City are not only going to get overrun in midfield with Aston Villa's legs of Kamara, Onana and Tielemans, but also the likes of Matty Cash and Digne getting further forward to try and support the likes of Ramsey and Rodgers, and Manchester City end up getting pinned. We've not got too much experience on that left-hand side with Nico O'Reilly and James McAtee, as SofaScore's got it, if City do decide to go with that. So that causes me some concern, and I think we've got to try and push further forward to try and get the likes of McAtee, Nico O'Reilly involved as much as possible in this game, and making sure that when things are running through the channel, that the likes of De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, they're showing their experience and turning up in the right places at the right time to make the difference for Manchester City. Of course, Omar Marmoush starting today in place of the injured Erling Haaland, who obviously not having Erling Haaland is a big blow when you're looking at one of, if not the best striker in the world. We're also missing Ederson, a quality goalkeeper, missing Rodri, the Ballon d'Or winner, and of course missing John Stones and Nathan Ake, whilst Aston Villa have now got everybody available, no injuries for them, looking raring to go. So it's a case here of Manchester City. We've just got to try and survive. If we can survive, then we are in a really good spot heading into the final 4 games of the Premier League season, which for me, these 4 games are a little more favourable for Manchester City as well. Now, just heading to the chat. All things football, at least we do have Nico O'Reilly on the pitch, which is great to see. Frederick, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Geordie, thank you for tuning in. Says, hoping both teams will lose. I imagine you'll probably be hoping for a draw. Normally when I see 2 teams battling for the Champions League spots, I'm hoping for a draw. I was hoping for Villa and Newcastle both to drop points and hoping for a draw. So we'll see. There's plenty more points to be won and lost between all them teams chasing. So we'll see. Really big game this, of course. City have got to turn up, show up and make it count, and hopefully they can, and we can have a really good performance and a Manchester City win today. Amelia reckons we're going to win 3-0 today. I'd love that. That would be absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, Mike, for tuning in. Much appreciated. Going for a 3-2 Manchester City win. I like that. I'd like to see a 3-2 Manchester City win. Also, guys, just before we do crack on with this live watch along with kickoff just around the corner, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It is free. Social media links in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. We're aiming for 100 likes, 56 to go, so any help towards that would be great. Don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the live chat where you're tuning in from today, and also your score predictions for today's game. And finally, do go and leave... I'll leave your thoughts. Already done that one. Go and vote on the poll. 78% of you guys going with a Manchester City win today. 9% with a Villa win. 13% going with a draw. I'm being slightly negative, me. I'm going with a 1-1 draw, I think, today. And to be honest, I will take a draw, if I'm honest with you. Manchester is blue, going with a City win, going 1-0 to Manchester City. Leslie, thanks for tuning in. Not happy with the team. There's a lot of tired, ageing legs there, in particular in midfield. It's almost like we've not learnt lessons from Villa Park, which is really frustrating. I'm hoping, come the full-time whistle, I'm not going to be sit here saying that, you know, we all saw the writing on the wall. We knew what was going to happen, yet we've done nothing about it, which I think could be really frustrating. Anyway, Mike says, not happy with O'Reilly and Kevin burning out. Needed some changes. Well, we're playing every 3 to 4 days for the last couple of weeks. But a big FA Cup semi-final match coming up on Sunday. Aston Villa have been playing relentlessly for the last 3-4 days. Forever they seem to have been doing it, yet they're coping really well, and they've got a fully fit squad and not really needing too much rotation. So I don't think Aston Villa are feeling too much fatigue. It just shows how incredibly fit their team is. But yeah, here we are. Anyway, I just want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. SofaScore keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores from around the grounds. They've kept you guys up to date with all the team news for today's game. They'll keep you up to date with the latest match information. They'll keep you up to date with all your good footballing needs. It's not just limited to football. It's got the sports and information covered for all of the sports you want to go and follow. Cricket, rugby, darts, snooker, the World Championships happening right now, American football, everything's on there. Everything's covered. So do go and check it out. It is a free app to download. And anyone that does download using my link in the description or my link in the live chat or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring today's video. So we do have kickoff for this game. Manchester City attacking from left to right. Hold up, there's an early opportunity here for Aston Villa. Rashford's in. And Rashford's hit the post. Jeez Louise. Wow. City high pressed, forced a mistake. Rashford should score. There's the warning sign, 20 seconds. Rashford should score. Gets out from under his feet. He makes good connection. Half a yard to his left, and that's a goal. That's the inside of the post, and that's a goal. That's an early warning sign for Manchester City. Wowzers. 5k. I want us to go for the win. I just don't think we're going to win. I have a feeling that Villa and City will both be pretty happy to take a point and move this on to the next game. We know that Newcastle's still got to play Chelsea. Chelsea's still got to play Forest. Plenty to play for. Here's Omar Marmoush into the penalty area and getting a corner for Manchester City. And there's Omar Marmoush. He knows the meaning of this game. Trying to just get the crowd motivated, making some noise. He knows the importance of it, and we need the backing of the fans. I think City might be looking for a quick start here, and it was Villa that very nearly got that quick start. And maybe if that man on the screen, Ollie Watkins, had started ahead of Marcus Rashford, that might just have been a goal for Aston Villa. But as it is, it isn't. It's a corner for Manchester City. Straight from the training ground. De Bruyne doesn't get that chip right, looking for Kovacic. Headed clear by Aston Villa. So what I was saying before, Man City attacking from left to right. Or attacking the south stand first. City playing in their sky blue shirts, white shorts, navy blue socks. Aston Villa in their traditional claret and blue. Attacking from right to left. So they're playing in their claret and blue shirts, burgundy shorts, and white socks. Cross comes in there from Kevin De Bruyne. Goes out of play for a throw-in. There was nobody there in the end as we get another replay of the early opportunity for Marcus Rashford. Just 20 seconds in. Hits the post. It ricochets back to Stefan Ortega, thankfully. Youri Tielemans calls in the high press. He'll lead the high press. He's a quality player, Youri Tielemans. I was amazed that Man City didn't go in for him, to be honest. Same when James Maddison went to Tottenham Hotspur. I was amazed that City's name wasn't being put out there more. These are the high-energy kind of players that have caused Man City so many problems this season. Here's Bernardo. He's got the run of McAtee on the right, so it does look like McAtee is going on the right, being heavily linked with a move to Bayer Leverkusen at this moment in time. So don't forget, guys, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Leave a thumbs up. We're now just 53 likes away from 100. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Links and details there in the description and also in the live chat. Mike, I agree. I think Youri Tielemans would have done a really good job for us as well. You know, these are the engines that you're looking for in midfield. And I think it's that engine, that bit of running that City really lack in their midfield. Grab a couple of runners in the summer and, you know, I think City's midfield could be firing on all cylinders, even if they choose to maybe keep a likes of a Gundogan and or a Kovacic. As long as you've got the runners around, then you've got the players that can cause a lot of problems in the midfield. Often the midfield does look exhausted. It's often just being overrun. It's going to be very difficult for Manchester City. I presume that Pep Guardiola's maybe gone with a more experienced age in midfield because he's planning to change things up after about 60, 65 minutes in. So the job for City might just be get to 60, 65 minutes and see if we're see where we lie in the game and move it from there, because we've definitely got the players that can come off the bench and cause problems. The next problem is Aston Villa are a really good team. They've also got players that can do that as well. Haaland back from injury. I think he's probably another month away. They were on about him maybe being back for the penultimate game of the season against Bournemouth. I imagine City will probably be targeting the FA Cup final should we get there. Still got to beat a very good Nottingham Forest, a very well-organised Nottingham Forest team who picked up a really good 3 points. I was hoping for a favour off Spurs, but no favour came from Spurs. Fully focused on the Europa League. Why wouldn't they be? Because they've got nothing to play for in the league. So Nottingham Forest picking up a really good 3 points yesterday, which means City have got no real rest here. Rodri news, nothing on. He's training on his own until he starts training around the first team squad. I would suggest he's probably 2 to 4 weeks away at the moment. I'd be very surprised if we saw Rodri at any point in this regular season. Obviously, it'll be towards the end of May. If we do see him, I reckon the plan will be Haaland to try and get him back for the FA Cup final. I think they're probably going to be looking towards John Stones and Nathan Ake and Rodri probably being back for the Club World Cup is what they'll be looking for, as a nice little dink ball looking for Omar Marmoush. Does well, finds McAtee on this right-hand side. Here is Marmoush now to Bernardo Silva. Has he got runners is the question. The answer is no, we're going to have to go back. We could do with Haaland ASAP. I think we can cope. It's obviously this game and the big Nottingham Forest game at the weekend for the FA Cup semi-final where we really missed these main, big, important players. I think we've got enough without having Haaland here and Rodri here to be able to do enough to beat Wolves at home and Southampton already relegated away from home. You get to that point, we're then at the point where it's the FA Cup final if we get there, and further beyond there, looking at Bournemouth at home and also Fulham away. That's what's the remainder of this season. There's not much going on. Anyway, here's Ruben Dias. He's got the run on this left-hand side of Omar Marmoush. Just switches himself to the left-hand side. He goes to the byline, puts the ball in. And Bernardo, save! No! It's in! Oh, I thought Emi Martinez would have saved that, to be honest. It's Bernardo Silva with the all-important opening goal of this game. And it's all about the work rate and hard work of Omar Marmoush to create that opportunity for Manchester City. And Bernardo Silva has his shot. It's on target. It's straight at Martinez. He gets a big, strong 2 hands onto it, but can't keep it from going into the back of the net. He'll be very disappointed with that. Very disappointed with that, Emi Martinez. Very experienced goalkeeper. World Cup winning goalkeeper. And McAtee he's miles offside there, McAtee. I think that might be what Emi Martinez is moaning and complaining about, but let's have a look. I think by the time the shot comes in, McAtee just worked his way into the goal, so he's not really interfering with play. The keeper should save it. The keeper should save it. He really should. So it's Bernardo Silva with the opening goal of this game, and it's a big opening goal. It's brilliant to see Bernie back in amongst the goals this week. He's been getting linked with a move away from Manchester City. He's been getting linked with a move to Benfica in Portugal going back home. So a really important goal there from Bernardo Silva. And what City want to do now is just keep trying to build on this. Keep putting Aston Villa under pressure. Digne puts his effort in. Matheus Nunes wins the header. He's done very well to win that header. The only problem is ball had gone out of play for a throw-in. Julian says, Pep looking very bold. Maybe the theory is the bolder Pep is, the better he is. I think Youri Tielemans has gone down with a head injury here. I think the ball's just been whacked in his face. Yeah, what we want to do here is keep going at Aston Villa. Saying before, they're an incredibly fit team. They're not feeling the fatigue of the season. And they're not feeling the fatigue of the season because I'm convinced that they're running purely on adrenaline. They're chasing, going at everything. And if Manchester City can just go out there and grab 2 or 3 goals, I reckon you would see Aston Villa's fatigue in full show. Once they've got nothing to chase and nothing to go at, you will see Aston Villa feeling every part of what's been a really busy season. At the moment, they're running purely on adrenaline because they've got so much to play for. And I respect it. I respect it a lot. I respect Villa a lot. They're a really good team with really good players. Now, Emi Martinez makes the save. Because he makes the save, he rebounds it onto his own leg. He should save it. Julia is right. We're up to 3rd. That's why today's such a big day. Got to be winning these games. Get up to 3rd and get the pressure on everybody else. I think there's some favourable fixtures coming up this weekend for the likes of Chelsea and Newcastle. So, you know, we've got to win this game. Very important we don't lose. At the moment, 1-0 up. Got to keep going. Anyway, we have hit 50 likes now. We're halfway to our like goal of 100 likes. So any help towards that would be great, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. We are on the tails of Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal will start to do a bit of squad rotation, so I won't rule out them dropping some points very soon, as they'll start thinking about PSG, because that's obviously where their success lies. Arsenal have got to win tomorrow, otherwise Liverpool win the Premier League. Liverpool more than likely will be winning the Premier League, if not tomorrow, then this weekend. And that will then see Arsenal just start to take their foot off the gas and focus for PSG. Vicario did make a lot of blunders, so they're not covered himself in glory yesterday. Here's Nico O'Reilly now to Josko Gvardiol. Again, I think City are just trying to get Aston Villa to be chasing around. They were putting that high-pressure press onto Manchester City very early on. Won the ball high up. Marcus Rashford set away. 20 seconds in, hits the post. Not clinical. Man City have only had their one opportunity and should have been saved by the keeper. Wasn't. 1-0 Manchester City through Bernardo Silva. Here is James McAtee then. To Matheus Nunes is Kevin De Bruyne. Goes with the chipped pass, looking for James McAtee. Doesn't quite link up, and Emi Martinez reads that one. And he catches it, and that'll be Aston Villa back in possession of the football. 12 minutes in here at the Etihad Stadium. City leading by a goal to 0. So Manchester City having 2/3 of possession at the moment. 66% to 33%. Long ball sent forward by Aston Villa, looking for the header. Rashford can't find him. Ruben Dias will mop that one up, and here's Ortega to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva dropping in really deep to pick the ball up for Manchester City and looking to build from defence into attack. Here is Josko Gvardiol for Manchester City. Got the company of Youri Tielemans. I'm surprised Aston Villa are sitting off Man City so much. City are just kind of picking the passes. If they can pick these long-range passes, then there's space for City to work with. City just been kind of cutting out the middleman. They're going nice and direct. It's causing problems for Aston Villa because they don't really know what to do. So throwing for Aston Villa just on halfway. Digne sends it back. Here is Pau Torres. Back to Martinez. Konsa's under pressure, and Marmoush wins that high up, and there's the Villa mistake. Nico O'Reilly now to Gundogan. Everton City just happy to have possession. Gives the ball to Kovacic. About 30 yards out from goal. He's got a little bit of space. Gives the ball to Bernardo. Here's Matheus Nunes now. It's interesting. You're seeing James McAtee. He's playing right wing, but he's pivoting and going more through into the middle. And he's partnering. You'd expect to see Marmoush there, but it's not Marmoush. It's De Bruyne, and Marmoush is very much on the left for Manchester City. And you're seeing with City on the ball, Matheus Nunes is pushing further up to more, well, basically be the right winger for City rather than the right back. And Nico O'Reilly, I'm sure when the attack goes down the right-hand side, will be given the same freedom when it comes to the left. Here is Ruben Dias then. And I feel like City, it suits City because they like going with the two centre-backs. And the two centre-back suits because Ruben Dias and Gvardiol have really formed a nice partnership as Marcus Rashford just wins the ball back there for Aston Villa. They look to try and spring this quick counter-attack. Knocks the ball forward and looking for a penalty. The referee says no penalty. Ruben Dias says, I've not got my arms up. I don't grab Jacob Ramsey. He chucks himself to the ground. I'm sure VAR will have a look at that one. For me, it's either a penalty that or it isn't. If it's not a penalty, then surely it's simulation. It should be a yellow card. At the other end, here's Marmoush now causing all kinds of problems. Tackle comes in from Kamara. Here's Kovacic to Ilkay Gundogan. Here's Matheus Nunes. They are very strong centre-backs, Mike. Very strong centre-backs. Good precision, a good partnership. And I think the referee's been told to go to the monitor to go and have a look at this. So this looks like it's going to be a penalty for Aston Villa. Referee's been told to go and have a look at it. So Ruben Dias says he doesn't use his arms and there's a coming together. And that's what the referees deemed it on the field. And they're looking for clear and obvious. Now Ruben Dias, his thigh goes into the back of Jacob Ramsey. I just don't think there's... He takes his leg. There's a coming together. It's one of them. This for me. Referee's given the penalty. That for me, we're looking at VAR. I wouldn't have any complaints if the referee pointed to the spot first time round and it didn't get overturned. I wouldn't have any complaints about it. I do have a complaint about, is it clear and obvious? I don't think this is a clear and obvious error. I think it's a weak penalty, to be honest. Manchester City are really unhappy. Ruben Dias is really unhappy. There's a coming together of the legs. Pep Guardiola is saying Ruben Dias has pulled out of the challenge. He's not grappling him. There's a coming together of the legs. It's a real harsh penalty. A really harsh penalty. My problem is VAR. I have no problem if the referee's given the penalty in that moment. I don't think there's enough for it to be overturned. I just don't think that if the penalty's not being given, that this is clear and obvious for a penalty to be given. So it is Marcus Rashford up against Stefan Ortega. This is a real big moment for Aston Villa. Because Rashford needs to score. He must score. He's got to score. I'm hoping Ortega doesn't commit himself here and go too early. So here's Rashford then, up against Ortega, giving him the eye, and it sends him the wrong way. It's a good penalty from Rashford, and it's 1-1. Gives him the eye, and Ortega doesn't commit, so Rashford just strokes it into the corner. Nothing really the keeper can do about that. That's just... Honestly, guys, I don't have any problem with the penalty being given if the penalty's given in real time. I don't think there's enough to overturn it. I just don't think it's clear and obvious that the referee in real time has deemed that not a penalty. That VAR think that, oh, it is a penalty. It's a really good penalty, that, from Rashford. It's a weak pen. It's a really, really weak penalty. Oh, it's a good header. Marmoush, heavy touch. Marmoush! Good keeping. Manages to take it away from his heels. And City fans will be up for that now. Emi Martinez isn't having the best of starts to this game. Marmoush manages to get his foot on that and dink it over him. I'd have said Emi Martinez was at fault for that goal if that had gone in anyway. Peter, yeah, thank you for tuning in. A really weak penalty. I just didn't think there was enough of VAR to overturn it. I'd have thought they'd have agreed with the referee. I try and be as balanced and as fair as possible, and I'm saying that if a penalty was given, I wouldn't have had any complaints with VAR not overturning it. I would have had no complaints. But I do have a complaint that the referees deemed it not a penalty. As here's Manchester City with the advantage. Marmoush. De Bruyne just picks the heels of Marmoush and takes the ball off him. He wants the overlap. He's going to get the overlap eventually from Nico O'Reilly. I think City just happy just to work that back. Doesn't need to be worked back. Andy Man, not happy with the penalty either. Such a weak claim for a penalty. The contact's there, as I said. The referee gives a penalty. I'm not going to complain that the penalty's being given because the contact's there. If you're running in and you make contact and your leg comes to go with another player and the player feels the contact and goes down, the referee's going to give the foul. Marmoush, excellent burst of pace. It's not a foul. Matty Cash under pressure there. He knows what he's doing there, Matty Cash. Trying to use his experience there. Feels the contact of Omar Marmoush. He's forced into the mistake. And he's struggling to deal with the pace of Omar Marmoush there. City just got to persevere and stick to it. Got to be wary of the Aston Villa counter-attack. That penalty comes about from an Aston Villa counter-attack. They've got to be really wary of that. I'd like to see a bit more backbone from Premier League referees, that when they're told to go to the monitor, you do see the odd European referee do it, where they have a watch of it, they watch it in real time and go, I'm happy with the decision that I made, and I'm going to stick to my guns and stick with the decision. Because when a referee in the Premier League gets called to the monitor, how many times this season has the referee stuck with their original decision? Should be a free kick against Villa there, and is. So Kovacic picks up a free kick, put under pressure from Kamara. Here's Manchester City then coming forward once more. Kovacic. Aston Villa have been very cautious here. Just inviting the pressure, trying to wait for the Manchester City mistake to punish on the counter-attack. And I thought Villa would have forced the issue a bit more, especially when they went 1-0 down. But it's been very patient from them first 22 minutes or so. Anyway, guys, we're 43 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. James McAtee's been set away here up against Pau Torres. McAtee to Nunes. Slips there, Nunes, but he still manages to keep hold of the ball. His pass is a bit wayward. Bernardo Silva does well to find McAtee on the slide. Here's Josko Gvardiol now. Work to the left-hand side. Marmoush causing a lot of the problems for Aston Villa at the moment. That's a good ball from Marmoush. Looking for the flicked header from De Bruyne. He gets the faintest of touches, but Martinez, right place at the right time, makes the save this time. Will go down that, I think, as a shot on target. Yeah, it's a glanced header. He does get contact. The keeper has to make the save. So, remains 1-1. Once again, distribution mistakes from Aston Villa at the back. Being forced and put under pressure. They're not linking up well here, Aston Villa. This isn't the Aston Villa I've seen over the last few weeks, where they've been absolutely relentless, but they're like a light bulb. Just flicker the switch and just boom, off they go. Off they go. Purple Dot, thank you very much, and thank you for your kind comment there. Much appreciated. Not the best of balls in that from Manchester City, and dealt with comfortably by Emi Martinez. I mean, Ruben Dias just going for the ball. I think Ruben Dias's argument is, he says he's going for the ball and he's pulled out of the challenge. And as he's pulled out the challenge, the coming together of the legs has happened. Just... Andrew, it's what I said. You've got to look at it and say it's either a foul and it's a penalty, or if it's not a foul, then it's simulation. He's playing for the penalty, yellow card. Referee chose that it wasn't either. Maybe that's VAR's fault. He's not really made a decision here, so we'll help him make a decision and give a penalty for it. But he pulls out of the challenge. It's such a harsh penalty. Such a harsh penalty. Andy Man, thanks for tuning in. There is too much diving. Players go down. I mean, look at Matty Cash before, put under pressure from Omar Marmoush. It just wasn't a free kick. Matty Cash has felt a bit of contact and pushed himself to the ground because he's felt a bit of contact because he wants the free kick because the referees are going to give it. If the referees just didn't give things, the players had stopped doing it. But we're at the standard of officiating. It's awful in the Premier League. We know that. We've got to deal with it. Who's on VAR today? That's, for me, where the error is here. I actually think the referee made the right call in real time. Anyway, thank you, Mike. Much appreciated. Here's Nico O'Reilly then. Just forced back to Josko Gvardiol. Now Ruben Dias. There's a bit of a gap between defence and midfield that I don't like, that I think Villa are going to look to try and exploit. Gary Neville, I know, yeah. Sometimes you can just slow things down, you find the contact and you slow everything down, you get all the angles and you think, right, yeah, I've made the incorrect decision. Sometimes it's best just to look at it in real time and just go, what do I think? 50-50. If it's 50-50, big game, do you make the big call and give the penalty or do you let it go? Shot comes in from Mateo Kovacic. Again, comfortable save for Emi Martinez. But he made a mistake before, so City, I don't blame them. Having shots, testing Martinez. These are shots coming in, shots on target. Go ask the question of the keeper. Emi Martinez now to Kamara. City looking to put that pressure on to Aston Villa. Matty Cash to Kamara. Does really well to find his pass to Martinez. Martinez spreading the play to the left-hand side. Does well. Finds Digne. Again, just meets another press of Manchester City. And that press forces the mistake. A good combination from De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva there. It's Onana this time with the mistake. And I tell you what, he's a unit, isn't he, Onana? Right in the heart of that Aston Villa midfield. Huge physical presence there. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is not tiny. Bernardo Silva's gone down. They want a free kick. He's in a heap of pain. Matheus Nunes is like, where's the free kick, ref? Nunes goes down again. He's like, where's the free kick, ref? Not coming. Referee's just awful. Have a look at this. I mean, how's he not giving a free kick for that? Studs are up and scrapes it down on the chest of Bernardo Silva. Ramsey it is with a high foot. How's the linesman not give that? Why does the referee not give that? Just beggar's belief. Absolute beggar's belief. Studded contact. Sometimes the studs go up and players go down to make the point, but the studs make contact. It's not only a free kick. Ramsey should be in the book for it for the high foot. As Peter says, it's worse than the penalty. It's not getting penalised. He needs VAR to make the decision for him, though. Don't forget. How on earth did top level officiating get that wrong? How? I hate bashing the officials. They have a really difficult job. I hate doing it. But sometimes it has to be called out, and it's just out and out awful officiating. Awful. Really good that from De Bruyne winning the ball back. Marmoush finds McAtee. Heavy touch from McAtee. Means Martinez will get control of it. I wonder how long it'll be before Man City start getting little touches in the penalty area and start looking to try and win their own penalties. And also, with Erling Haaland injured, who would be on penalty duty for Manchester City? Would it be Kevin De Bruyne? I mean, this is Aston Villa's approach here. Emi Martinez under no pressure, telling Aston Villa just to slow everything down. The time wasting. I don't really get it. I know Aston Villa would be happy for the point. This is what the Aston Villa are waiting for. They're waiting for the frustration of Manchester City, and they'll just look to try and pick it off, and they'll send players forward. They've got to be really careful. Digne tries to turn McAtee. McAtee does well, and that'll be a throw-in for Aston Villa. The City got to be really careful of that, of overcommitting. Can't give this Aston Villa time and space on the ball. Cannot do that. They'll punish you every time. It's going to be a long throw into the box. Lucas Digne to take. Launched in, looking for Onana. Villa get a flick on it. They managed to get a shot away in the end, and the City haven't got this clear. In the end, Ruben Dias can get his foot onto it and get that one clear. That's a good tackle from De Bruyne, and that'll be another throw-in for Aston Villa. I won't rule out Digne wanting to launch another one into the box, to be honest. That caused problems, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up now. Just 39 likes away from 100. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new around here. And do check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Seamus, I don't think Oscar Bobby's on the bench. So, yeah. As another long throw comes in. Finds Onana. Cross comes in. Header won by Pau Torres, but no direction on it. And Omar Marmoush now looking for Nico O'Reilly. Gets an interception from Matty Cash, and that'll be a throw-in for Manchester City midway inside their own half. Villa choosing to put the squeeze on through Marcus Rashford. I imagine they're probably going to drop off here. Yeah, and Ramsey, look, he's got his back to goal. McAtee does really well, collects that ball from deep. Here's Ruben Dias now to Josko Gvardiol. He's got three players further ahead of him on the left-hand side. He's got Nico O'Reilly, Ilkay Gundogan and Omar Marmoush. A run comes in from Kovacic into space. That's a lovely run from Kovacic. He drives forward and Tielemans manages to get his foot onto that. That should be a corner for Manchester City and is. So what can City do from this set piece? Set pieces haven't really been our forte. I do think our set pieces have been better in the second half of the season. Benefited from having a physical presence like Nico O'Reilly in the team. He's what, 6'3", 6'4", he's towering over Lucas Digne, who's marking him right now. So Ruben Dias in there, Josko Gvardiol in there. Get a good ball in the box, ask a question, anything can happen. KDB to take. A bit of grappling going on in the penalty area. Ball comes in. Josko Gvardiol wins the header and it's headed over the top of the crossbar, and that'll be a goal kick. Peter, we've only just hired a set-piece coach, but I agree, yeah. I feel like we do need a new set-piece coach. Yeah. I do feel like Josko Gvardiol should have got a shout from Nico O'Reilly there. Nico O'Reilly actually had a better opportunity to head that. Heavier touch there from Pau Torres. He's done well to find Matty Cash on the right-hand side. He's going to look to try and get Villa forward here. Here's Emi Martinez. Plays a pass back to Konsa. Matty Cash down the flank. And Youri Tielemans. Here's Kamara now. He plays a lovely ball into Morgan Rogers. Not seen too much of Morgan Rogers at the moment, but he plays a good pass there, and all of a sudden Villa are rubbing the hands. Digne trying to get this midfield of Aston Villa involved. Finds Ramsey, found Rashford. Here's Pau Torres now. Once again, Pau Torres just... and Villa just taking the time. They're waiting for City to overcommit. It's what they're waiting for. Don't mistake it as Villa wasting time, just settled for the point and the draw. They're waiting to draw Man City out is what they're looking for. Morgan Rogers then up against Josko Gvardiol. He's pulled to the ground. Surprise the referee's not given a free kick for that, to be honest, but he lets it go. There's been some strange decisions. I again think that looked like more of a foul than the penalty. So there. Peter, I've not heard anything about Ederson either. I won't rule him out being out for the season, to be honest. I've not heard anything. As a long ball comes forward, looking for Marmoush. Just a little bit too much on that, and that goes out of play for a goal kick. It's the first time we've tried a direct ball forward for around 15 minutes. Them direct balls were causing Villa some problems, so I'd like to see a couple more being played over the top, looking for the City players in space. You can find them. You can stretch the Villa defence. So goal kick, again, Villa just wasting time. They're happy to run the clock down. They're happy with the point, but they're waiting to draw City out. They want the frustrations. They want City to do something stupid, like commit players forward, so they can just do one dink forward, link up play, a couple of passes, and they're in. That's what they're looking for. Here's Nico O'Reilly under pressure. Just a lovely, lovely pass to Josko Gvardiol. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Boy, does Nico O'Reilly look like he's playing with tons of confidence. Ball from Kovacic isn't great, and it's cut off too easy for my liking by Digne. And look at, is that Ruben Dias getting back? Oh, sorry, it's Matheus Nunes. Lovely, lovely defending from Matheus Nunes, and that'll be a free kick for City, and the first time we see the card come out as well. Lucas Digne put into the book. And he's on a yellow card. 10 minutes remaining, plus whatever's to be added on until half-time. So don't forget, guys, do leave a thumbs up. Now, 38 likes away from 100. Do subscribe and do go check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. So free kick around halfway inside the City half. City just pass it. Villa drop deep again. Here is Nico O'Reilly now. Josko Gvardiol to Mateo Kovacic. He finds Ilkay Gundogan. Kovacic points where he wants the pass. He doesn't get the pass, though. Back to Ruben Dias. Here's Bernardo now. Yeah, Marmoush just dropping deeper then. Marmoush now playing as the centre forward. De Bruyne has taken a step back. Nico O'Reilly's turn to go to left wing. And that's exactly who's going to receive the ball. Gets a good touch. Ball comes in. Header won by Marmoush and over the top of the crossbar. Good ball in that from Nico O'Reilly. Is an opportunity, albeit a very difficult opportunity. Not a bad ball in though. Peeled away from the defender. And he wins the ball there, Omar Marmoush. I think he'll be a bit disappointed not to get that one on target. Just it's the top of his head. Doesn't get it right. To cause the problems for Emi Martinez and Aston Villa. So it goes over the top of the crossbar. That'll be a goal kick. And once again, Aston Villa just knocking it round. Martinez being put under pressure. Here's Pau Torres, and that's a good bit of pressing. That'll be another goal kick. McAtee it was, forcing the pressing game from Manchester City. City fans trying to get Martinez in trouble now for time wasting. About the lengths it's taken to restart the game. Here's Emi Martinez now. He's going to work it to Lucas Digne. Under pressure. Plays his pass. Drop of the shoulder from Ramsey. Digne gets forward once more. Lovely, lovely covering from Matheus Nunes. Boys, Matheus Nunes had a really good first 37 minutes here. Really good first 37 minutes. He's really settled and embedded himself in. And it has helped Man City a lot. We started to find a bit more form, unbeaten runs. You know, games we were losing, we're no longer losing. We're turning some of these draws into wins. The defence just looks more settled from City now. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. A couple of bits of barging going around from both sides. Villa again just trying to put that press on. City do well just to take that sting away. They don't make that mistake. Kovacic then, too much on that. That's going to be a throw-in for Aston Villa. A mistake. Do you know if there's anyone that's not really linked up too great here for City in this first half? I do think it has been Kovacic. He's made one good run forward. He's had a shot on target. But he's had a couple of wayward passes. And you've got to be really on it in that position right in front of defence. You've got to be on it. McAtee does well. So well. It does look like he's going to rearrange something, doesn't it? Pep Guardiola furious with that ball from Kovacic. McAtee nearly forced a mistake there. De Bruyne came over to help out, but Villa did really well. I'm not sure who the player was there to keep hold of the ball. Onana does really well there, though. And Aston Villa again, look how many they're getting forward. Long ball forward. Rashford's got the touch. Rashford's got the shot. And the save comes in from Ortega. It's not Rashford's cleanest of efforts there. Tightest of angled. He didn't have full control of the bounce either, so it's always going to be a difficult effort. It was more just a case of get your foot on it and see what happens. Weren't the cleanest of contact from Rashford and a comfortable save in the end. But again, there's the directness of Aston Villa causing Manchester City problems. Here's Matheus Nunes. I think he's strayed offside. So 6 minutes then remaining of this first half. Been a very topsy-turvy kind of first half. Aston Villa had the first big opportunity in the post after 20 seconds. City relaxed themselves into the game. First opportunity that we had, we managed to find the back of the net. Had a couple of long-range efforts, a couple of crosses and headers here and there. Not enough. And Aston Villa getting their penalty, their decisive moment with a well-taken Rashford penalty. And that's kind of where we sit here. Benny, thank you for tuning in. I'm not too sure I'd take Walker back, to be honest. I think his pace is gone. That's my problem that I have. Not so much with Kyle Walker. I think he's City's best right back that we've had. I just think his pace is gone, so I just don't think he's the right player for City. And to be honest, there's several of these players in midfield. The pace has gone, and once the pace has gone, you're struggling to cope. I think that's why they've told Kevin De Bruyne that he's leaving. They're not even offering him a contract because they think his pace is gone. Omar Marmoush penalised there. He's already, before Omar Marmoush is around, Youri Tielemans there. Youri Tielemans is already on the bloody ground. Slightest bit of contact over the shoulder. Omar Marmoush has got to be a bit smarter in his pressing game, not to put his hands on him there. If he doesn't put his arm on him, I would say he has the same argument as what Diaz has, which is, there's nothing in it. Play on. I can see Sheffield United coming in for him. I have concerns of Sheffield United being promoted. They've run that race really close in the Championship. A high points tally. To fall short comes very demoralising heading into the playoffs. You lose a bit of form. You lose a bit of focus. It becomes very difficult. Playoffs aren't easy. So, a free kick here for Villa. Villa are irritating, says Julia. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Julia. I do. Cross comes in, don't beat the first man. Gundogan wins the header. Here's McAtee, plays his pass to Marmoush. I do think City could be a bit smarter. Could buy the odd free kick here and there if they wanted to. Like Marmoush is under pressure, gets grabbed, and he's not giving a free kick. He's not giving a free kick. He's not giving a free kick. He grabs him. He does the same. In fact, there's more in that than what Youri Tielemans just had going down. Yet the referee doesn't give a free kick. This is jokes. Absolute jokes. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Honestly, I'm excited to hear the boos at half-time. Don't mistake the boos for thinking the team's been booed off. They're letting the reception be known to the referee. The referee's had a stinker. Absolute stinker. Absolutely horrific. Pau Torres just works the ball to Aston Villa's right-hand side. Got Ramsey that switched over to the right-hand side. And Pep did get a yellow card. I think he's one game away from another suspension. Is it 5 or 6 for the managers? Is it running games of 3 yellow cards? I can't remember. I'm sure someone in the chat will know. Here's Villa then on the counter-attack. City just got to get players back. Headless chickens comes to mind. Space left, right and centre. Good bit of covering from Diaz. Villa got to settle for the corner instead. City can get everybody back. Marcus Rashford gets a frosty reception. Comes over to take the corner for Villa. Pau Torres, Konsa come forward. Digne's in there. Tielemans is in there. Onana, I think, offers the big physical presence for Aston Villa that City have got to be wary of, along with Pau Torres. And Konsa, of course, as well. To counter that, Ruben Dias is in there. Nico O'Reilly's in there. Headers won by Villa, and that should be a free kick. Finally, James McAtee goes down and a free kick given against Aston Villa. You heard that correct. So there's a bit of grappling. Ruben Dias wanted a free kick there. Not happy. Chloe, thanks for tuning in. I think Kovacic for Nico Gonzalez would be my change at half-time. So 30 seconds plus, I imagine there'll probably be a couple of minutes added on here at the end. Is Josko Gvardiol. Gundogan finds Nico O'Reilly. I wouldn't rule out seeing the likes of Savio and Doku come on, to be honest. There's another direct ball forward. Nunes making himself known to Lucas Digne. Martinez puts his foot on that. Not a very good clearance. Look like handball that from De Bruyne. The referee says no. Bernardo works the ball to Nico O'Reilly. He puts a ball in early into the box. Cleared by Villa. So we're into the first of... I think they just said 4... Did they say 4 minutes then? Yeah, 4 minutes. Is Ruben Dias then. There's a run coming in from De Bruyne. Finds McAtee. McAtee can't get that under control and Villa will get hold of that. And here comes Villa on that counter-attack. And a lovely bit of covering that from Mateo Kovacic. And Ruben Dias finds the pass to McAtee. Here's Kovacic now. It's all a bit... what I said in the preview. It's all a bit careful. It's a careful game of football, this. Villa are looking for that defensive approach. Tight, no real space. Slow the game down. So exactly the instructions from Emi Martinez there. Patience. And try and hurt City on the counter. They'll be saying at half-time, Unai Emery, they get this to 85, 90 minutes. Aston Villa aren't going to come up flying all out of the blocks at Manchester City. They're just going to be very patient in this game. So it'll be interesting to see what the approaches are as this game goes on. Just how keen are Aston Villa and Manchester City for this match. Because the point is not an amazing result today, but it's not a terrible result either. Keeps us above Villa. That's very important. And it's important because if Man City win out, we finish over Villa. And we'll mathematically definitely be finishing above one of Newcastle or Chelsea because they play each other. So the scenario becomes quite clear for City. You get your difficult game out the way with. You've got your 4 favourable games at the end. Win them all. Here's Matheus Nunes. City can win today, though. Take a big stride to Champions League football. It's not the best of balls in that. It's just beyond Marmoush and out for a goal kick. So there's 2 of the 4 minutes played. McAtee's not having his best game either here, I don't think. I can't imagine Pep will change too many things, to be honest, at half-time. I think he'll be more than happy just to... He's purposefully gone with his team because I think he's expecting Villa to be a bit more defensive. It's not going to be as physically demanding for City to deal with. So he'll only make the changes once the team starts to either be chasing the game or if he needs to change something based on the result or the players are showing signs of fatigue. Now, I don't think you'll start to see fatigue from City until past the hour mark. Long ball forward from Martinez, header won by Nunes. Onana just picks the pocket of De Bruyne there. And De Bruyne picks his pocket and that'll be a throw-in. So 1 minute remaining till we get to half-time. Digne to take. He sends it back. Again, Villa's approach is... From honestly, what I've seen from this first half, it seems like Villa are pretty happy with a point if it's to be offered to them. They'll keep pushing, see if they can find that mistake, but I don't think they're going to force a mistake. They'll wait for a mistake to come. As Emi Martinez is going to make another distribution error. And it's a really good bit of reading from Nunes. And he's frustrated at McAtee not to read it and collect the ball there. He does all the hard work there, Nunes. And he plays a decent ball to McAtee. And McAtee should get that under control, but he doesn't. And here comes Matty Cash then for Aston Villa's last run forward for the half. Can he get beyond Nico O'Reilly? He can. He puts a ball in. Bernardo Silva gets his head on that. Rashford's got hold of the ball outside of the penalty area. He's pushed. He goes down. He wants a free kick. The referee says, up you get. 4 minutes are done. Here's Omar Marmoush. He goes down. I think that's half-time. Yeah. Well, there we are. Been a bit of a topsy-turvy half. Obviously, we'll have the talking point of the penalty given against Ruben Dias, when in real time penalties not given. Is it clear and obvious? VAR think it was clear and obviously a penalty, and penalty given. Rashford takes with a really good finish into the bottom corner from the penalty spot. And Aston Villa needed that equaliser because Manchester City had taken the lead, of course, through Bernardo Silva. I think Emi Martinez won't want to see that one again. Should really save it. He doesn't. Marcus Rashford hit the post in the first 20 seconds. Probably since Villa have equalised, they've just been taking the foot off the gas, and it's become a bit of a scrappy game, to be honest. And that takes us into half-time, and we have to wonder about what are the intentions of the two teams here. Does Man City want to risk losing this game to try and win it and get things tied up ASAP? Are Aston Villa going to force it against City, or are both teams happy for 1-1, share the points, move on to the next one? They're the questions. Thank you very much, Max. Much appreciated. Seamus reckons subs are going to win this. Both teams have got very strong benches, so we'll see how long it takes before either manager decides to twist. So do get your half-time thoughts, guys, in the live chat. That would be much appreciated. What you're thinking at half-time. If there are to be changes, what changes would you be making? In the meantime, we're going to be speaking about today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Remember, SofaScore, a free app to download. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores, along with the latest team news, the latest statistics, and all your good footballing needs. All in one place, all in one app. SofaScore will keep you up to date with all the latest scores and information from all the other sports that you guys love to follow as well. Anyone that does download SofaScore using my link in the description, or the link in the live chat, or the QR code on screen, does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And as I said, it is free, worthwhile checking out, and very highly rated. So thank you very much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Just having a look at the statistics for this game. 61% possession for Manchester City in this first half, 39% for Aston Villa. City's expected goal rate at 0.52. Aston Villa may have had less possession, but their expected goal rate nearly 1 above Manchester City at 1.35. City with one big opportunity, 5 shots at the moment, forcing 2 saves from the goalkeeper. Aston Villa with their 3 big opportunities, having 5 shots, forcing 1 save from Stefan Ortega. City having more passes, but Villa, when they're coming forward, looking like they're going to be doing a little more than what Manchester City are. And at the moment, Manchester City have got into some good areas, but not really have found a way to link it up all that well. And at the moment, what we're looking at here is two teams kind of cancelling each other out, which is why I was speaking about, do both teams settle here on the point? The point will send Manchester City into 4th place. We'll go a point behind Nottingham Forest. Newcastle United are level on points with Manchester City as it stands, but City have got the better goal difference. We remain above Aston Villa, which is really important, and Chelsea are 2 points behind Manchester City, and they've got a home game coming up on Saturday where they take on Everton. In terms of the other teams, Newcastle, I think they're playing on Sunday. Newcastle, they're not playing on Sunday. They're playing on Saturday at 3 o'clock. They've got a home game against Ipswich Town, where I believe if Ipswich Town lose that game, they're going to be relegated. Yeah, they're 15 points behind, 5 games remaining. So Ipswich Town fighting for their lives. Newcastle have got the opportunity to relegate them. Nottingham Forest aren't going to be playing until Thursday, 1st of May. They've got a pretty difficult home game against Brentford, because Brentford can be a real tricky opponent to play against. And the upside that we have to that is that will bring an end of match day 34, and then we'll head into match day number 35, which Manchester City will take on the next day against Wolves on Friday, 2nd of May. So Man City are going first. We've got these opportunities to be putting pressure on. To me, can win this game, we take a big step to Champions League football. Got to be applying ourselves. Julia says, annoyed in that first half. Dan says, as a City fan, I wouldn't be happy with the draw because Villa would have taken 4 points off Manchester City. It's a really good point what I was speaking about before. Newcastle beat us at St James's Park. We beat them at the Etihad. We took 6 points off Chelsea. Nottingham Forest beat us a few weeks ago at the City ground. First half of the season, Manchester City beat them at the Etihad Stadium. So it's all about just cancelling out them bad results that we had from the first half of the season to rectify it to have some success in the second half of the season. One of them bad results was that 2-1 loss away against Aston Villa. So you've got to try and counter it and come to the Etihad Stadium here and win. Aston Villa will be happy, even though they don't go into the top 5 today with a draw. They will be happy with the point because they'll be thinking to themselves, in terms of their difficult fixtures, that's them done and dusted. They're thinking if they can win out, that's them in the Champions League for next season. And that's kind of the same for City. We win out, we're in the Champions League as well for next season as well. So these margins are getting finer and finer. Nottingham Forest have still got to play Chelsea, and Chelsea have still got to play Newcastle as well. So still plenty to play for in terms of the other games for Manchester City. I just think it's important that we don't lose this game. And if we do get given any opportunities coming up in the second half, we've got to take them. If we can win this game, then that would be amazing. That'll be a big step to Champions League football for next season, and that is what's at stake. At the moment, nothing really cancelling between Manchester City and Aston Villa in that first half, and I think the less said about the referee, the better. That's my summary. If you've got any more thoughts, do let me know in the chat. If City are to make any subs, what subs would you like to see? I think if I was to make any subs, I think I'd be probably chucking on Nico Gonzalez for Kovacic or Gundogan. I don't think either of them have been all that involved too much in this game so far, in my complete honest opinion. So I do have some half-time entertainment for you guys to enjoy. But before I do, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, we're aiming for 100 likes, 31 away. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here, and do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. And finally, my half-time entertainment today, brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. Links and details there in the description. Go and check him out. Go and like and subscribe over there. This is the Frozen Blue Lagoon, so enjoy.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here, back again for another cocktail video, just in time for Easter. What we're going to make today, guys, is the Frozen Blue Lagoon cocktail. This is one of my favourites to make, and I just love this cocktail. So I think it's perfect, especially with the nice weather that we've only just had as well in the UK. So I think it's the perfect drink to kickstart the Easter cocktails. So stay tuned for that. So let's get straight into it. So to make the Frozen Blue Lagoon, what you want to do is get your blender. Fill in about 200ml of ice, and then put in the ingredients. The first into the blender is 60ml or 2 ounces of vodka. We are using Ciroc. Next into the blender is 1.5 ounce or 45ml of blue curacao. Next, 1.5 ounce of pineapple juice or 45ml. And last but not least, 1 ounce of 30ml of coconut milk. Let's blend it right into it. As you can see, the result has turned out very nice, so let's pour it into a nice hurricane glass. What we do now is garnish it with a nice pineapple wedge. And some nice coconut pieces. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a 1 Frozen Blue Lagoon. There we go, 1 Frozen Lagoon. How does it taste? Now, with any refreshing cocktails, the Frozen Blue Lagoon is absolutely beautiful. It hits so much, and if you have it, it's sweet as anything, especially with the coconut. It reminds you of summer, gives you good vibes. It's a beautiful drink. But it's nice and presented. It's got a nice blue colour. There's nothing more you can wish for than a nice summer drink like this, especially with the nice weather that we're having in the UK. For me, that is a banging 9.5 out of 10. It's near enough perfect. Something that makes that better, I think, could be a nice long coconut piece. I think that's the only thing that'd improve, that'd be the decoration. But in terms of a taste, that is beautiful. For the taste, 10 out of 10. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a 1 Frozen Lagoon cocktail. Absolutely beautiful to kickstart Easter. Don't you just love it? But if you're new around here, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to Mix It for more cocktails like this. As I will see you guys on to the next one. As what I'll be doing is a nice Easter egg special, especially with Easter coming up, as I've got a couple of ideas that I want to do for that. But I do thank you for all your support, as Mixed is back. Cheers, happy Easter everyone.
A big thank you to Mixed for providing today's halftime entertainment. Do go and check him out. Links and details, they are in the description. Andrew, thanks for tuning in. Says, I'm a Forest fan. Got an easy running, but we're going down because of the Premier League and financial fair play. Well, we're not expecting any decisions on anything to be made. They said until at least the summer. I highly doubt you'll get any decisions being made in the summer as well. So, obviously, being a Forest fan, if you're banking on Premier League and financial fair play, making them decisions for any influence for this season, I don't think it's going to make any difference, to be honest. And as we've mentioned before on the channel, you read between the lines of the actions of the club, and you look at what Manchester City are doing off the field, in particular over the last 6 to 12 months. It doesn't really suggest to me a team that's going to be harshly punished by the Premier League and relegated. So my indication that I'm getting from reading between the lines is I think the club are very confident when it comes to financial fair play restrictions and Premier League charges and things. But until we have all the facts put in front of us, which will take, seems a little bit more time to come out, we won't know any more details. I certainly wouldn't, as an opposition, be relying on such a thing to be made before that is the case. I imagine if there was to be any punishments, it would be a punishment that would come in either for next season, potentially until the season after. You'll get appeals, so it'll go on further along there. So, yeah, here we are. My full-time prediction, I'm sticking with what I said at the beginning of the game. I said 1-1. I think both sides will look to try and cancel each other out. It'll get later in the game, and I just don't think either team will be interested in risking this game to try and win it and potentially lose the game. It would be very costly. So I just think, I reckon if we don't see anything happen by the time we get to around 70 minutes in, I'm going to go 1-1. Philip says, is it only me wondering what's happened to Echeverri? Well, Echeverri was meant to be part of the squad today. The journalist was saying he was gone in and been part of the squad today, but it's not made the squad. So, yeah, fairly sure he's in the stadium, just not made the squad. And I'm not too sure when it's going to he's going to be in the squad and we're going to see Echeverri. But, yeah, here we are. Wigan reckons 2-1. Not sure if it means for Man City or for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest or Aston Villa, but I presume we're putting 2-1 in that order, not 1-2. Means the home team of Manchester City will roll with that. Dave says the delays about how much money the Prem owe Manchester City for blackening their name. It's complicated. It could be. It could well be. Who knows? I look between the lines. I look for the subtleness. I look where things are happening. If Manchester City not spending any money and a cost cutting, then that tells you everything that's going to be happening. But City haven't been cost cutting. They've been spending big money in January, and they're talking about spending some more big money in the summer transfer window as well. A club that's going to be harshly punished very soon wouldn't be doing such a thing. Manchester City's owners and the people in charge at the club are not stupid. They've fought UEFA over these things and won before, so yeah. But until we have facts put in front of us, it's all just mere speculation. I mean, nobody actually knows for definite the facts of what the charges even are. So here we are. Anyway, players are back out, ready for the second half. It doesn't look like any changes have been made, but Manchester City are going to get this game underway. Remember, Aston Villa got the game underway, and it took them 20 seconds to create the first opportunity of the first half. We'll see what happens here in the first 20 seconds of the second half. Ilkay Gundogan going to get us underway for this. Benny, no changes. Not that I'm aware of anyway. I don't blame you having the volume off. Gary Neville on commentary. Benny says, come on City. Miles says, I wish we had at least one winger on the pitch. Yeah, no, nothing at the moment. And Peter confirms, yeah, no changes. As a direct ball comes forward looking for Marmoush. Villa do well to deal with a direct threat. Kovacic manages to get his foot on it. Aston Villa managed to get the ball on the right. So we're just 29 likes now away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Josko Gvardiol gets his foot onto that. Here's Marmoush. He's clobbered in the back. Referee says no free kick for Manchester City. I didn't think that was a free kick, to be fair. A longer ball comes forward. Josko Gvardiol does a bit of wrestling with Morgan Rogers. He appeals. Again, just like with Marmoush, not a free kick. It's a contact sport. A direct ball comes over. You're not getting to the end of the direct ball. You feel a bit of contact, so you go to ground because you're not getting to the ball. There's going to be a bit of grappling, a bit of holding, a bit of pushing and shoving. Goes unpunished for large majorities of the game. You're going to punish it once, you've got to punish it all the time. The referees choose not to, and if you're not going to punish it all the time, you can't be inconsistent with it. Referee, first time he's going to get a bit of credit in this game from me, was consistent there. Decided it wasn't a foul on Marmoush. Decided it wasn't a foul on Morgan Rogers. I'm not complaining with that. I'm happy with that. Go forth. Here's Bernardo then. It's lacking a bit of pacey wingers, this from City, isn't it? Austin says, glad Bernardo's got his goal with the news coming this week. Looking like Bernardo Silva may well be leaving Manchester City, being heavily linked with a move to Benfica this week. Apparently Manchester City happy to sell and want Bernardo Silva to leave this summer. Wouldn't surprise me if that was true. Austin says he'd like to see Kevin De Bruyne get his goal as well, which would be good, as we already know. Official confirmation, Kevin De Bruyne will be leaving Manchester City upon the expiry of his contract this summer. Still don't know what's happening yet with his Club World Cup contract. We'll see. His contract expires during the Club World Cup, so I imagine City will put a short extension on that to whenever Manchester City go home from the Club World Cup. Whether they go on to get to the final and they might win it, or if they go home earlier, we'll see. Emi Martinez then with the goal kick here for Aston Villa. Remains one apiece here. Long ball sent forward. Header should be won by Manchester City in the end. It's like a crab kick from Josko Gvardiol. Don't really get how that one's happened. There's a bit of a physical battle happening here between Morgan Rogers and Josko Gvardiol. In the end, Aston Villa get themselves a throw-in. Looking for a very physical battle. I think Aston Villa are just trying to get Morgan Rogers involved as much as possible at the moment. Seems to have what's been said at half-time. Get the ball to Morgan Rogers, trying to get him to cause Man City some problems. At the moment, he's been a bit isolated, not really been involved in this game. Matty Cash sends a long ball in. Josko Gvardiol wins the header. Gets a push from Morgan Rogers, and this time a free kick given against Morgan Rogers. He's not happy about that, so he's going to have a word with the referee. I can't believe these Aston Villa players have got the cheek to go to the referee, shake their heads and disagree with the decisions after the decisions that went in their favour in the first half. They're having a joke, man. Absolutely having a joke. Oh, man. Let's not go there. Here's Bernardo Silva. He nearly gave that ball away. Ruben Dias puts his foot through that. Matty Cash gets that one under control. His ball's not the best. Nico O'Reilly can't get that one under control, though. And Kamara plays a ball into space, which should be mopped up by Josko Gvardiol. Will be. He does very well there, Josko. Finds his pass back to Stefan Ortega-Moreno. Here's Kovacic now, trying to get City going forward. Bit more direct passing. Here is Nico O'Reilly. First chance he's got getting forward here in the second half. He gets clipped and referee says that will be a free kick. Yellow card. Whoa, a yellow card as well. Morgan Rogers. Consecutive fouls goes into the book. Andy, thanks for tuning in. And Alison as well. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you both back. Much appreciated. Aston Madrid. Pete says, can't believe Roy Keane said it was a pen. Of course Roy Keane said it was a pen. I expect no less from a former Manchester United player to be saying such things. So I can believe it. Here's a free kick for Kevin De Bruyne to take. No, he's not. He's going to leave it. McAtee's going to put one in instead. That's a great ball. And Villa defend that really well. Onana gets his foot onto that. Really good bit of defending that. Really good bit of defending. A wicked ball in that from James McAtee. Josko Gvardiol's ready and waiting there. A good bit of defending from Onana. And another set piece, another corner for Manchester City. King Kev has gone to the corner to take. Working on some kind of set piece routine because you've got a bit of whispering going on between Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol. Nico O'Reilly's in there. Corner comes in. Header won by Josko Gvardiol looking for Nico O'Reilly. And that'll be another corner for Manchester City. This time at the other side. Matty Cash it was getting his head onto that one and heading behind. I'll tell you what, Matty Cash has really improved defensively over the last 12 months or so. A really good fit for Aston Villa. I know he's been a bit sceptical at times this season. There's been some question marks, but he's looked pretty solid today. In his last couple of weeks, I think he's looked pretty solid. Anyway, another corner comes in and Arno wins that header. Marmoush back to De Bruyne. Early pressure here from Manchester City in the second half. And Onana's there to win the header. And once again, it'll be another corner kick for Manchester City. De Bruyne will take again. O'Reilly's still in there. Josko Gvardiol's still in there. Gundogan's in there. Diaz is in there. Another corner comes in and that's a comfortable collection for Emi Martinez. Rolls it out to Kamara. That's a lovely bit of defending from, would you have thought it, Omar Marmoush. And Man City have the ball, but referee's going to stop the play for Emi Martinez has gone down with a head injury. Bit more time wasting from Aston Villa, sensing that Manchester City are getting on top. To be fair, he does get an elbow to the back of his head from Gundogan. There is a lot of grabbing going on, Andy. Referees don't penalise it, though. Players get grappled all the time in the penalty area on set pieces, and it never goes punished. Don't know why. I wonder if Omar Marmoush should be taking a penalty if City got one. I've just been wondering about who's going to take the penalty with no Haaland on the pitch. You'd think it'd be De Bruyne. Here's Josko Gvardiol. I mean, Gundogan's taken penalties. Bernardo have. I don't think either of them are that good at penalties. is Matheus Nunes. Does ever so well, and then he goes down. It's the second time Matheus Nunes has took his man on successfully and then gone down through slipping. I know we've had a bit of rain. We've not had loads of rain. I mean, we went, what was it, like a month without any rain. So, yeah. So we're getting towards the 55th minute. I'm wondering how long it's going to be before both sides got good benches start dipping towards the bench. So it's just everything that I mentioned in my preview of such a careful game of football. This a very, very careful game of football. Thank you, Billy, for the support. Yeah, I reckon Pep can get there. He's got a system. He knows what he's looking for. He knows how to execute it. I just don't think he has the players that he's looking for to do it. He knows what he's looking for. City are going through the transition to get the players in, to have the players that can do what we're looking for. It will take a couple of years to successfully do. I'm not expecting Manchester City just to say, "Oh, we're back next season." It's one season blip kind of thing. It's a transition. Will take a couple of years. As De Bruyne goes with a deep ball, and Matty Cash is going to win that header into the danger zone, and Nico O'Reilly gets his left foot on it, and he's frustrated. I agree, Rai. Yeah, both teams lacking a bit of quality today. It could well be decided by the bench, this. I can't remember who said it before, but could be absolutely spot on. This game could be decided by the quality on the bench. Yeah, I just think that City, we're a couple of years away. It means, we've got to go a couple of seasons of not winning the Premier League. If we can continue to, get consecutive Champions League appearances and making some progress in the Champions League. Obviously, in the playoff this year, it'd be nice to be able to have some progress, go latter stages, get to quarterfinals, semi-finals again. It'd be good to be able to get there before we start to think that we're fully back to our pinnacle. I don't think the Premier League's depth's been that strong this year. I think City had the consistency and pretty injury-free. I reckon would have been right up there, but here we are as a corner comes in, and Ruben Dias with a shot goes wide. It's going to be another corner for Manchester City, and this is all from Aston Villa's poor defending. They just passed the ball out for a corner due to a mistake being made, and City nearly capitalised upon that, as I'm not sure Martinez would have got down in time. Right, it is a shame that there's no Oscar Bob on the bench. There's lots of players who are fit who aren't making the bench because, we're getting a lot of players back as another corner comes in. And Marmoush has a shot. He drags his shot this time. It's going to be another corner. It would be nice to have Rodri back. You know what I mean? You get your players back. Nathan Ake, John Stones, Rodri, Erling Haaland, all available. All of a sudden, the depth is much stronger for Manchester City. And a lot, not a lot, all the problems, but a lot of the problems go away. We do still face that burning hole of pace and legs in midfield, which is something we need to start addressing. So City well on top here as we approach the hour mark. Another corner for City. City's 8th corner. It'd be good if we could do something from set pieces, wouldn't it? De Bruyne to take again. More grappling in the penalty area. Goes for the 6-yard box. And again, Emi Martinez. Comfortable collection, continues to moan, keeps hold of the ball. I'm looking forward to that 8-second. Is it 8-second rule that's coming in next season? Keeper's got hold of the ball for longer than 8 seconds. A corner gets given. City again just trying to put that squeeze on. I miss our Rodri Rockets. It's these big games like today where we really miss a player that can take these big games by the scruff of the neck like Rodri could. We miss his influence, really do. Here's Matty Cash then. First chance he's had for the second half to get forward. He has to go back. City again just trying to put the squeeze on to Kamara. Marmoush, the player. And he's going to get dispossessed and ball falls lucky for Morgan Rogers. He's wrestled to the ground and the referee will give a free kick. Josko Gvardiol not happy with this one now. Let's have a look. Grabs his arm. Wants the free kick, he gets the free kick. It's got to be smarter. I'm not a big fan of this grabbing and then complaining after you've grabbed somebody. You're going to put hands on somebody and you don't win the ball, you're going to concede free kicks. It's going to happen. So the first roll of the dice is going to come from Aston Villa. It's going to be John McGinn. Good opportunity this for Youri Tielemans to put something. Really, you want this on the penalty spot. He's signalling 6. I think he's wanting 6 players in there. He does get 6. Manchester City now want to play the high line and the offside trap. Youri Tielemans then to take. He goes for the pass and read by McAtee. He tries to go for the sliding challenge and Youri Tielemans is in here and his poor ball pulled across from Tielemans. He was in acres of space. I thought he was going to put his foot through it and Marmoush takes on one. He's going to leave the ball behind and he's going to get dispossessed and De Bruyne is going to win it back. Marmoush is feeling a bit of pain here. He's stopped as that's a good ball looking for McAtee. He's got it under control. He's gone for the lob. Oh, just wide from McAtee. That was an opportunity on the hour from James McAtee. And it's just wide. Pep Guardiola smiles. So don't forget, guys, leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes. Just 24 likes to go. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Unlucky that from McAtee. Would have been a great finish, that. I agree, Peter. It would have been a great goal. So, a couple of changes for Aston Villa. McGinn's going to be the first. We're going to see Matty Cash coming off for Disasi. So, like-for-like change on the right-hand side. So, Disasi comes on. And it's also going to be Ramsey, the winner of the penalty for Aston Villa, that comes off. And McGinn's going to come on for some fresh legs into midfield. And he'll take the captain's armband off Emi Martinez as well. I wonder if Manchester City might just start thinking about preparing to make a couple of changes very soon as well. Looking to try and counter that. Got the likes of Foden, Savinho, Doku. All good options on the bench in attack. City chasing that goal. Lovely bit of pressing. Well won back. Josko Gvardiol and Kevin De Bruyne combining really well. De Bruyne, heavy touch there from KDB. He's kicked in the back from Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers looking more and more frustrated. He's already on a yellow card, let's not forget. I think about Man City, I'd be asking the question to the referee here. So it doesn't go for the ball here. Morgan Rogers just goes straight through Kevin De Bruyne and just kicks out at his legs. If he weren't on a yellow card, he'd have been put on one there. And I imagine he's probably on last warning. If I were Unai Emery, I'd be thinking about taking Morgan Rogers off. Because I imagine any more of that and he'll be off. And if I'm Man City, you've got to be smart. Start thinking about things. It's got to be Morgan Rogers on a last warning, that. Get in his face. Get him to do something stupid. So De Bruyne and McAtee stood over this. McAtee put in a lovely ball from a similar position a few minutes ago. It's going to be De Bruyne this time. Easy header for Pau Torres to win. As Kovacic has a shot, and I don't really get how he made such a clean connection on that, but he did. Straight to Emi Martinez, though. Ask the question, though. Can only have a shot and have it on target. Keeper's got to make the save. Goes for a ton of bodies to get there. Here's this Aston Villa midfield then. Keith, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Through ball comes in for Marcus Rashford. Rashford rounds the keeper. Side netting. City get away with one there. Big opportunity for James McAtee a few minutes ago on the chip. And went out of play for a goal kick as it went just wide. And a big opportunity that for Aston Villa as well. No man's land from the keeper there. He can't get his angle right there. Rashford. And ends up going wide in the end, thankfully, and into the side netting. I don't know what Man City are doing here. Faffing around on this goal kick. Surely just got to whack it as far away as possible here, to be honest. Aston Villa ready for the high press. Surely just send this long. It's where you miss Ederson, really. So Ortega's got the ball. They're passing it around. I'd have sent it long. Ruben Dias is going to send this one long, and that's a heavier touch from De Bruyne, and Digne's just going to put that one in the stands. And that'll be a throw-in for Manchester City then. At what point do we start thinking about the substitutions? I said we'll get to about the hour mark. It's when City will start feeling a bit of the fatigue. I presume that's why Villa's made their substitutions. They'll be feeling a bit of fatigue coming in. Marmoush gives the ball away. I agree, yeah. I'd start making the changes now for me. We're getting towards the finer margins, the latter parts of the games. Mario, thanks for tuning in, reckons, yes, typical Pep 75th minute. But Rashford rounding the keeper there just shows that, you know, it's the danger's still there for Villa. It'll be patient. And City have got to be real careful. It worries me that we've not actually got players out warming up either. Foden just sat on the bench, stroking his chin. At what point do you chuck on Doku, Savio, Foden? Kovacic, can he get hold of the ball? That'll look like a free kick. It's getting a bit scrappy, this game. Here's Bernardo then to O'Reilly. We're looking a bit isolated up top as well. Bernardo then to O'Reilly. Bernardo. Here's De Bruyne. O'Reilly's going to send one across. McAtee! Oh, he just couldn't quite sort his feet out there, McAtee. Lovely ball from Nico O'Reilly. Just a really flat ball across into the 6-yard box. It's got to be read by somebody. It's read really well by James McAtee there. And he just couldn't get a clean connection. It's actually a good bit of defending there from Pau Torres to get himself in front of the effort there. I mean, McAtee just he mixes up his feet. A clean connection there from McAtee. And that's a goal for Manchester City. And, you know, we've just started to get on top 50 to 60 minutes in as Nico O'Reilly does wonderfully well to get forward here. But we've still not really got anything to show for it. Still one apiece here. Very, very careful point of the game. And it's around this time where Aston Villa are normally at their very best. It's where they started capitalising upon Newcastle mistakes. As that'll go away for a corner to Manchester City. And again, it's just it's not desperate, but it's deep defending from Aston Villa. And Pep wanted to get the fans going there, applauding. I think now's a really good time to make a couple of subs. I really do. Here's De Bruyne then to take the corner for Manchester City. Again, we've got O'Reilly, Diaz, Gvardiol, the players causing problems. The aerial threats. Trying something a bit different here. De Bruyne puts one in and Gvardiol wins the header and it's headed over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Yeah, a couple of times Josko Gvardiol's just got into a bit of space and won the header, and they've not got it right. That's good work from McGinn. Here's Digne. He's going to play that longer ball forward. Header's got to be won by Josko Gvardiol and is. Here's Rashford now up against O'Reilly. He tries to go through the legs of O'Reilly. He knows what he's looking for there, Rashford, and a good bit of defending that from Nico O'Reilly, and that'll ricochet out, and Ortega will pick that one up, and Matheus Nunes will look to get things going. Not really seen too many attacks coming down this right-hand side for Manchester City. I just think City have got to try and shake things up. I feel like now's a really good time whilst we're just starting to get on top to shake things up, your electrifying Dokus and Savinhos force them wide defenders to drop a bit deeper, force Digne onto the back foot, force Disasi onto the back foot, force Rodgers to have to come back. Fresh legs through midfield. This Villa team are happy to run. They'll be happy to run until tomorrow morning comes about. They're not bothered. That's what they do. They're an engine of a midfield. They'll run, they'll press, they'll win balls back like Onana did there. Onana's had a really good game, by the way, for Aston Villa. Here's Rashford. He's looking a bit isolated there, but he's still got hold of the football and got Aston Villa a throw-in right on the Manchester City penalty area. Tielemans down again. The yellow card's out. I think it's Josko Gvardiol that's been put in the book. Oh, that's a nasty challenge that from Josko Gvardiol. Just kicks right through on the back of the heel. And he goes into the book. That's a nasty, nasty challenge that from Josko Gvardiol. And Tielemans feels all of that. Thankfully, he's all right. He's good to continue. Could be a really nasty injury caused from a challenge like that. So a chance here for Aston Villa to maybe put a long throw into the box. They're going to chance it. Shouldn't be Ilkay Gundogan and doesn't. He gets it headed clear. City have got everybody back. Here is Kamara. He's going to ping a ball forward. There's too much on that for Morgan Rogers, and that will be a goal kick for Manchester City. So we're into the final 19 minutes. We're 23 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well. If you're new around here, press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Here's Kovacic then to Ruben Dias. I think Man City are just waiting to make the changes. They're waiting for signs of fatigue. You're a substitute coming on now. You're going to struggle to have an influence and get involved in the game because you've got to get up to speed in a very delicate, very precise game of football. You've got to get up to scratch very quickly. Which is why I'd have made the changes 10 minutes ago. Gives you that time to embed yourself into the game whilst we were getting on top. Here's Josko Gvardiol then. Here's De Bruyne to Ruben Dias. Again, City just probing. This Aston Villa team don't have many cracks. You've got to force it. That's a good ball to Nico O'Reilly, and he just can't keep that one in, I don't think. Or has he managed to keep it in? I think he did. Anyway, it's into the arms of Emi Martinez, so it don't make any difference. Peter, I agree. Fresh legs needed, and here we go. Jeremy Doku is going to come on. Just under 20 minutes of normal time remaining. Jeremy Doku is going to be chucked on by Manchester City. He's asking the question of Pep, where's he wanting him to be? What's he wanting him to do? I imagine there's going to be a bit of a shake-up in this attacking line. Doku normally goes on the left, so they're going to ask Marmoush to go through the middle. Interesting to see who comes off now. I'm wondering if Man City might have been tempted to just try and tighten things up at the back and take Nico O'Reilly off, put Akanji on, and allow Doku to come on for Gundogan or a McAtee or somebody, and give Doku the free rein of that left-hand side rather than Nico O'Reilly getting in his way, just to try and balance the team out a bit better. Because at the moment it's Nico O'Reilly that has the freedom, so it'll be interesting to see who comes off. I'm certain it'll be one of the midfielders. Peter reckons Bernardo's going to come off as Matheus Nunes puts a ball in. Nico O'Reilly's going to hook that one back. Gundogan takes the touch. Marmoush has the shot, and I think takes a deflection now. He's not giving a corner. It looked like it took a deflection. Marmoush can't believe it. Definitely looked like it had taken a deflection, that. No? Have another look at it. Yeah, it took a massive deflection. Referee's terrible. It's going to be McAtee then that comes off. And his big opportunity. didn't manage to score. He's got another 73 minutes under his belt. Man City trying to convince him, giving him minutes and starts in big games to get him to sign a new contract. But City struggling to fend off the interest from Bayer Leverkusen this summer. That's something for City to think about in the summer rather than right now. At the moment, we've got to be focusing on our Premier League season. We want Champions League football for next season. Still a long way to go and a lot of hard work to go. We've still got a lot of hard work here. 16 minutes to go. Aston Villa going to chuck on Marco Asensio. I wonder who that's going to be for. Here's Doku then. Just to try and give Aston Villa just something to think about. So I think Nico O'Reilly's been told to go into midfield. The role that I described similar of Rico Lewis. He inverts into midfield. When Villa get the ball, they'll be told to drop deep and go next to the centre-back, which would be Josko Gvardiol on that left-hand side. And he's looking on that left-hand side of central defensive midfield. Here's Doku. Tries to play his pass in for Gundogan. Referee thought was going to give a free kick there. Doesn't. Here's Morgan Rogers up against Kovacic. Big physical battle there. And it runs out of room there, Morgan Rogers. And that will be a throw-in for Manchester City then. We're into the final 15 minutes of the game. Ollie Watkins going to be chucked on by Aston Villa. Aston Villa then chucking all the big guns from the bench on. So Marcus Rashford's going to go off, like for Ollie Watkins. More precision and pace up top. They've got the depth. They've got the team. Saying before about they're a team that shouldn't really be in 7th place with the team that they've got. And I wouldn't rule out over the next 4 games after this game of that changing and Aston Villa very much being a top 4, top 5 team. Marco Asensio also going to come on. And it's going to be Onana. Surprised to taking Onana off. He's been a bit of a rock in that central midfield. So that might just be a lucky break for Manchester City. Takes off one of the engines. I'm surprised they've taken Asensio off. Is this Aston Villa just committing to try and create an attack for these final 15 minutes? Fresh legs in attack and a bit more creativity with Asensio. Got McGinn on the pitch as well. Who knows? Very interesting. Anyway, we're 21 likes away from 100, guys. Me brill to make this a 100-like live stream once more. Here is Matheus Nunes then just working the ball back to Ruben Dias. Here's Josko Gvardiol. 14 minutes remaining. Big 14 minutes coming up. So not a very good pass that from Manchester City. I think it's Josko Gvardiol looking for Jeremy Doku. He apologises for the bad pass there, Josko Gvardiol. And Doku's quick, but he was never going to keep buying. So Disasi takes the throw in. Here is Konsa. Konsa's not really put anything, done anything wrong, has he? Not put a foot wrong so far in this game. Here's Pau Torres to Youri Tielemans. To Pau Torres once more. A good bit of triangular passing. That's what I was speaking about pre-game, about their ability to do the triangle passings. And that's going to be a free kick against Manchester City. And the referee's got his yellow card out. And that's going to be a yellow card there for Matheus Nunes. And slips over there and just like, I've slipped, I've lost McGinn there, I'm just going to bring him down. Cynical foul. Take a yellow card for the team. Stop the counter-attack. He goes into the book. 13 minutes remaining. Long ball over. Morgan Rogers can't win that ball from Nico O'Reilly there. He does, but he can't. Doku can't pick up the pieces there from Marco Asensio. And here's Asensio now looking to try and cause problems. Here's Morgan Rogers up against Josko Gvardiol. He's allowed Morgan Rogers to get that ball across. Can't do that. It's not going to be punished from Villa. Peter, that's my fear with Villa just starting to up the ante now. This is Villa now committing everyone forward. They've got the fresh legs. They've got the players. City just looking a bit jaded and tired. The Bill, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. And the Villa fans making themselves heard here. This is a big 12 minutes. Villa sense that this is their opportunity coming now. City could do with getting this ball back. Force Villa back onto the back foot. Here's Kamara. De Bruyne's turn to slip now. Here's Kamara to Tielemans. The run's coming in from Digne. Oh, McGinn just gets in the way. Just kind of stops the pace of the attack there. We've done well there, though, Digne and McGinn, to still have the opportunity to put a ball in. And Ortega should collect that and does. Comfortable for the City goalkeeper. Quick roll out. Bernardo Silva, City looking for the counter-attack. Got Marmoush now bursting forward. The through ball's got to come. He tries it, and it's well intercepted there from John McGinn. Pau Torres then. City's gaps in midfield looking very big now. These tired legs. They need to freshen this up in midfield, Manchester City, and it needs to come very soon. Foden and Nico Gonzalez need to be on that pitch, or Jack Grealish. Got to be shaking things up. They need fresh legs in that midfield. It's looking very tired from City now with the fresh Villa legs. Another long ball over, looking for Ollie Watkins. This one will stay in, so Watkins will get there. Edge of the penalty area. Players are forward. Players lining up. Digne now back to Ollie Watkins. Surely offside. No. Here's McGinn. I agree, Peter. Subs need to come on. Need fresh legs in this midfield. Villa are pinning Manchester City here. Gundogan does really well to win that ball back. Here's De Bruyne. Got the run of Doku. So through ball comes in. Doku's got this. Here's Doku then up against Disasi. Drives forward here, Doku. Can he sort his feet out? He's still got hold of the ball there. He does well, Doku. Here's De Bruyne now. Kovacic lined one up. And the through ball comes in. Here's Marmoush. Surely! Yes! Now the offside flag's going to come up. We never got too excited. It looked offside. Good finish that from Marmoush, though. They'll let VAR make the decision there. Marmoush is just a bit slow to come back in. I mean, Disasi's not looking across the line, but I still think Marmoush is a good half a yard offside there. They have the automated offside, so these offside decisions should be a bit quicker to be made than drawing of the lines. It did look offside for me there. Is offside, so play will continue with Villa with the ball. I mean, Emi Martinez has still got hold of the ball, not doing much here, Aston Villa. He's going to play the long ball. They're looking for the patient game. They're looking for the City mistakes. Bernardo Silva just goes through Lucas Digne there, and that'll be a free kick, and Bernardo Silva will make sure that's not taken quickly. Aston Villa just happy to slow this back down again. Aston Villa are just waiting for that opportunity, and I sense that that opportunity will be there. I have a feeling both sides are going to have one opportunity in this game. I'd like to see some fresh legs in that Man City midfield. Bernardo, free kick's given against Manchester City there. Bernardo's very frustrated. He looked to have just picked the pocket there of, was it Tielemans? Bernardo not happy. Sorry, it was McGinn. I'm not sure Bernardo gets the ball. Long ball comes forward from Villa. There's too much on that, and that'll be a goal kick for Manchester City. Okay. Benny, yeah, I agree. Marmoush just kind of too slow to get back in. He just held his position. If he'd stepped forward and been more alert, as that header comes in, and Ollie Watkins looks miles offside, and he doesn't score. Eventually the offside flag goes up. Josko Gvardiol's furious and kicks the ball away. Josko Gvardiol's got to be careful because he's on a yellow card. And he is offside. I don't understand why the flags can't go up earlier. Miles offside. Doesn't need to wait. It's just obvious that he's offside. That's a huge push on the back of Doku, and that'll be a free kick. Clock's ticking though. As we're now 20 likes, guys, away from 100. Any help towards that'd be great. Do subscribe and do go check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. So here's Josko Gvardiol for Manchester City. Into the final 7 minutes of this game, plus whatever's to be added on here at the Etihad Stadium. We're getting towards the point that next goal will win this game, and Man City have had their habit of conceding late goals. And we also have had a habit against Everton away of scoring late goals. Is there to be another goal in this game? Is there to be a winner? Here is KDB now to Matheus Nunes, back to Kevin De Bruyne. Is there something in this for City? It's going to be a free kick every day of the week. Referee says play on, given the advantage, and that'll be a throw-in for Aston Villa. And surprised the referee's not come back to Bernardo for that one. It's final 6 minutes, and Villa are going to throw in their final roll of the dice. Still 6 minutes remaining here. Here's Pau Torres. One direct ball forward. Josko Gvardiol will read it. Kovacic will win that loose second ball. Matheus Nunes, he's got hold of the football. Going to work it backwards. Ollie Watkins is going to chase that one. And Ruben Dias goes down. And that'll be a free kick for Manchester City. I think there was just a flaying arm. I don't think there's anything sinister in that from Ollie Watkins. Gets a yellow card for it. The City players are pushing Ollie Watkins. Let's have another look at that one. Kovacic is saying that he's done this. That, you know, he's raised arm and he's done that with his elbow. So he's unhappy. Let's have a look at this. Oh no, he deliberately just swings back and does that. That's naughty from Ollie Watkins. Really naughty from Ollie Watkins. Completely unnecessary. I don't know why he's done that. I don't understand. Anyway, final Villa sub. Rodgers is eventually going to come off. It's not really been his night so far. And Mallon's going to come on instead. Final roll of that dice from Aston Villa. Manchester City still got 4 substitutions that they can make. If they want to go and chuck on Savinho, Foden, Nico Gonzalez and co. At the moment, just sticking with what they've got. So, Bernardo Silva shown a yellow card, I think, for dissent. So here's Ruben Dias. Plays the ball to Josko Gvardiol, back to Stefan Ortega. Might be best for Ortega to go long here. Yeah, he does. Get rid of it. Header won by Disasi. Loose ball picked up by Gundogan. He plays his passes. Not enough on that, looking for Marmoush, and cut off well by Aston Villa. And they find Mallon now. And that's a good block from Nico O'Reilly. And that'll be an Aston Villa late corner here. So some defending for Manchester City to do. Plenty to think about. These are the opportunities Villa are looking for. Keep things tight, keep things close. Happy for the point, but get towards the latter parts of the game. You get your set pieces. You've got to make them count. Asensio then to take. He puts the ball in. Header won there by Josko Gvardiol. There's 2 Man City players on the floor. Mallon has a shot and comfortable save in the end for Stefan Ortega through the bodies. Ortega's just going to roll one out for Matheus Nunes. And City are going to look to try and get forward here. Aston Villa just want to get everybody back. Here's Kovacic. It's important Aston Villa don't lose this, so it's important they get everybody back. Here's Kovacic now to Matheus Nunes. He thought about putting a ball into the box. He doesn't put a ball into the box. He is now on his left foot, looking for Doku at the back post. McGinn will mop that one up. O'Reilly does well on Mallon to win that header. Here's Doku now to Kovacic. He's going to ping one looking for Matheus Nunes, and Digne does well to win that header. And Matheus Nunes, he's quick, could have ran after that. He took the risk there that the linesman's going to give him the throw-in, because he could have kept that one in, and I weren't entirely convinced the linesman was going to give that decision to him. Villa were appealing for the throw-in, but it's gone against them. So 2 minutes remaining. City have got hold of the ball just on the outside of the Aston Villa penalty area. Villa have got everybody back. City struggling just to try and create clear-cut opportunities. And I think that's been the big problem in this game, creating clear-cut opportunities as a cross comes in. Cross is going in, but we've not got the physical players. And City penalised for a push, and I just don't think there was anything in that. The diving header comes in from Konsa to win the header, but I don't think there's a push there. Anyway, don't forget, guys, do leave a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. 20 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. I've no idea where the subs are from City. I don't get why we've only made one sub. I'd have been chucking substitutions on. Try and make the difference. Foden goes on. Nico Gonzalez goes on. Grealish goes on. Savinho goes on. Something. Win the game. Win the game. It's a little bit like the match at Old Trafford. City clearly just they're persevering, going with what they've got. And if we get a point, you get a point. You're happy to take it to the next one. City know this point sends us into 4th place, but pressure's on because Newcastle are at home to Ipswich. McGinn bundles Bernardo over. And McGinn does well just to win that ball. That should be a throw-in for... Oh, I thought it would be a throw-in for Villa. He's giving it against Aston Villa. Villa will put a high press here on Manchester City. So it's important City try and get this one clear. Bernardo Silva does get one clear. Kamara wins the header. Josko Gvardiol can't win that loose ball. Doku gets his foot on it. O'Reilly now wants to burst forward. Malin does really well. Gets his foot onto it. That will be another throw-in for Manchester City this time. Midway inside the Manchester City half as we are going to enter in towards added time now. I don't think there's going to be too long added on. We've had Aston Villa make all the substitutions. One from Manchester City and then there's been a couple of yellow cards, but not much has happened. As Aston Villa have conceded 7 goals in added time this season. Second most of any Premier League team. Southampton the most on 9. I imagine what's it probably going to be, I reckon 4 minutes. Well, we've got 5 minutes. There we go. 5 minutes added on. 5 minutes to see if we're going to get a winner in this game. Here's Doku up against Disasi, and City get themselves a throw-in. Close one. That could 50-50. Could have gone either way, that one. I weren't entirely convinced that came off Disasi last. Kovacic then doesn't want to take the throw-in. Nico O'Reilly does. Bernardo Silva's done a heck of a lot of running for Manchester City. Kovacic forced to go really deep and plays his pass to Ruben Dias. And good pressing this from Aston Villa. City are going to be forced to go all the way back to goalkeeper Stefan Ortega. He's got Kovacic pivoting. He plays his pass to Ruben Dias, and that will allow Man City to get forward. Chips a ball forward. Header will be won by Aston Villa. Question is, can they win that second ball? The answer is no. Asensio can't get hold of it. And there's one of the 5 minutes sorted. There's Jeremy Doku now. De Bruyne now to Matheus Nunes. He's going to get a corner, a late corner. What a time for Manchester City to prove that they can do something on set pieces. What a time. Ruben Dias, Josko Gvardiol, Nico O'Reilly, they're in there. It's a great time this to score. De Bruyne gives his instruction. It's going to be an in-swinger from King Kev. Youri Tielemans and Josko Gvardiol having too much fun in the penalty area there. De Bruyne clips one in. Header won again by City, and it looks like we're going over the top of the crossbar, but Emi Martinez is up, and he collects that one. Again, just happy to slow it down. An in-swinger kind of takes the pace off there, and Ruben Dias wins the header, but he's struggling. So 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to see if we can get a goal. Emi Martinez just in no rush. Villa in no rush. They don't want to take the risk. They're going to send the ball long, looking for Watkins. Matheus Nunes does really well. Matheus Nunes has had a real good game today. Really good game. And that should be free kick, ref. If he plays the advantage. I'd have rather had the free kick, to be honest, ref. That was a free kick in a good area to put a ball in. Anyway, here's Josko Gvardiol now to Kovacic. It's important City don't start rushing it and give a ball away in a stupid area here. Yeah, you've got to make something happen, but you don't want to try and force it too hard that you make a fatal error. Here's Doku. Takes his man on. Does well on Disasi, and Doku into the penalty area. Ball across. Back post. Yes! Matheus Nunes! Right Right place, right time, last minute winner. Manchester City with a huge goal in the Champions League qualification race. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a ball across from Doku and Matheus Nunes at the back post to break the hearts of Aston Villa. And look what it means to Manchester City. Look what it means. Wow, as Austin says, biggest goal for Nunes' career at Manchester City. There it is. Wonderful football. Doku takes on Disasi. It looked like he took a heavier touch. He's got the space. Put a ball in the danger zone. He does that. Whoa, it's just a good goal. It's just a really good goal from Matheus Nunes. It's a lovely, lovely assist. We've spoken so many times about Jeremy Doku, an end product. There is the end product. What an assist from Doku and what a finish from Nunes. And look what it means to Pep Guardiola. Bam. Have that. And all them people that have left to beat the traffic home. It's why you don't leave early. Aston Villa, a team to concede in the last minutes. The second worst culprits for it, and Matheus Nunes, right place at the right time. City are going to chuck Akanji on now. 61 points for City. 4 points clear of Chelsea. Aston Villa, struggling. Akanji's going to come on for Nunes. Look what it means. Pep knows what it means. That is a massive goal for Manchester City. Massive, massive goal. De Bruyne is going to come off. I thought it was Nunes that were coming off. No? It'll be De Bruyne instead. Nunes is going to stay on the pitch. So last bits of concentration now for Manchester City. Concentrate. Last bit. Get the job done. Ball's given away by City. Offside flag's up. Offside flag is up. I did not see City winning this in the last minute. I did not see it. Honestly, guys, I did not see it. And here we are. We're ready, waiting. Full-time whistle, please, referee. What an assist from Doku and Matheus Nunes. Wow. Full-time whistle. 3 huge points for Manchester City. A huge, huge step towards Champions League football for next season. And the players can go and celebrate and enjoy it because this is what football's all about. These big moments, these big games. Last minute winners. Matheus Nunes. Boom, boom, boom. Andy, have a great time in Singapore, my friend. I mean, the big games don't stop coming for Manchester City. Massive game coming up next on Sunday. Huge game. We'll take on Nottingham Forest at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final and a spot in the FA Cup final. This game that we played today could well be an FA Cup final. But today's all about celebrating this win. We spoke about the importance that City lost at Villa Park. That's 3 points for Aston Villa. 3 big points. We need them 3 points back. We need to start overturning these bad results that we got in the first half of the season, in the second half of the season, and City are doing that. Wins against Newcastle at home, against Chelsea at home. Massive win here against Aston Villa at home as well. Things you absolutely, absolutely love to see. End product from Doku. Cometh the hour, cometh Matheus Nunes. We'll love to see it. So, I have my match reaction up, giving more of my thoughts from this game in the next hour or so for you guys to enjoy. That'll be up before 11 PM at BST, so I'll see you for that. I'm not entirely sure if there'll be a live stream on Sunday or not, pending. Stay tuned to my preview for the Forest game and I will further confirm as to whether there will be a live stream or not. There'll definitely be a live stream for the next Premier League game against Forest. I'm not sure about the FA Cup. I can't commit a yes or no yet. If there is, I'll see you on Sunday for the live stream. If not, I'll be next Friday and I'll have all the stuff in between as well. I'm exhausted. Thank you for watching, guys. 17 likes. Can we hit 100 likes in the post-production? Any help towards that would be great, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. And a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring today's video. Remember, SofaScore will keep you up to date with the latest football scores. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest team news, match information, statistics, so much more. Do go and check it out. It's not just limited to football. It's got you guys covered for all the sports that you love to follow, all in one place, all in one app. It's a free app to download. And anyone that does download using my link in the description, the link in the live chat, or the QR code on screen, does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And I'll see you all again for my match reaction up in the next hour. And also, we'll be back with another transfer update tomorrow. And all the content in between as we have build up towards our focus, which is now the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley against Nottingham Forest. And the remaining 4 Premier League games as pressure goes on to Forest, Newcastle and Chelsea. Over to you, and a big blow there for Aston Villa when it comes to Champions League football for next season. What a 3 points and what a win. Whew. Breathe. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Ciao for now.